Chapter 51. The Mage Association is said to be an unofficial organization, but in fact, it generally performs official functions according to the different situations of each empire and even each city. The invitation letter in Wang Zibin's hand was issued by the Mage Association, inviting Wang Zibin to attend a mage gathering in Xingyu City. However, this mage gathering is different from the usual ones. It is a gathering with the nature of spell testing. It also stated above that Wang Zibin was invited to give spell instruction to low-level mages. Looking at the invitation letter, Wang Zibin thought, the first thing to determine is that Wang Zibin must go to this party. The current Wang Zibin has no right to refuse the invitation issued in the name of the Mage Association. Secondly, the content on the invitation letter also stated that this will be a test for Wang Zibin. This is very reasonable. After all, as the Mage Association of Xingyu City, it is necessary to confirm the arrival of a new 6th Order Archmage. Even the invitation letter sent out by the Mage Association 1 month after Wang Zibin came to Star Moon City also shows the respect for Wang Zibin. They let Wang Zibin have enough time to settle down and get familiar with Xingyu City. Now, it's time for Wang Zibin to prove his ability to them. Obviously, the Mage Association will not unilaterally believe the information of the dozen or so knights, but is going to let Wang Zibin verify it on the spot. If Wang Zibin can show the corresponding strength of a 6th Order Archmage, then this gathering of mages must be a happy event. And if Wang Zibin can't, then the Masters Association will inevitably hold Wang Zibin accountable. Pretending to be a 6th Order Archmage is a 100% felony. Even Wang Zibin never said that he is a 6th Order Archmage. But the Master Association will definitely not listen to Wang Zibin's explanation. It seems that a crisis is in front of Wang Zibin. But judging from Wang Zibin's calm mood, this crisis does not exist. Because Wang Zibin is not a serious mage at all. If Wang Zibin was still worried about this problem when he was a 3rd-tier mage, then now that he is a 4th-tier archmage, he already has the confidence and ability to pretend. So Wang Zibin, who was holding the invitation letter, told Marcus, "Get ready, we will go to this mage gathering tomorrow." "Yes, my lord." Marcus replied quite excitedly. God knows how much Marcus has been looking forward to going out with Wang Zibin in the past month. Now everyone who knows Marcus knows that he followed Wang Zibin, the 6th Order Archmage. But without Wang Zibin present, Marcus still had to keep a low profile. But following Wang Zibin, it is different. The standard life highlight moment starts. Just like this gathering of mages, if you don't follow Wang Zibin, he, Marcus, probably won't have a chance to go in for the rest of his life. Therefore, Marcus turned back to the room very excitedly, and began to wipe his armor. This is his new armor, in order not to embarrass Wang Zibin. Marcus made up his mind, if the armor couldn't reflect light like a mirror tomorrow, he would lose. On the avenue of Xingyu City, Wang Zibin walked at a normal pace. Behind him was Marcus wearing an armor that could be used as a mirror. To be honest, seeing Wang Zibin who appeared in front of him wearing this mirror armor by Marcus, for a moment, he didn't want to take him to the mage party at all. After all, there is some shame. But thinking about eating and using macas in the past month, Wang Zibin still decided not to let him down. When Wang Zibin brought Marcus to the gathering of mages outside the city, all the mages showed strange expressions. They saw a reflective object walking here from a long distance. At first they thought it was a monster, but after a long time, it turned out to be a knight. And they also wondered why Wang Zibin walked over. You must know that as a noble mage, even if he is only at the 1st level, he will go out in a carriage or other means of transportation. At this time, several vehicles were parked next to the party site. In other words, it is more luxurious and high-end than the other, and it can completely serve as the face of a mage. In contrast, Wang Zibin, who is walking, looks very shabby. The good thing is that they know that Wang Zibin is a 6th Order Archmage, so they won't have the brains to jump out and mock him. At the very least, no one dared to jump out when they were not sure that Wang Zibin's identity was fake. Compared with these bright things, strength is the real face of a mage. When Wang Zibin arrived, the vice president of the Xingyu City Mage Association and the 6th Order Archmage Oswald warmly greeted him with a group of mages. After Oswald saw the grey mage robe Wang Zibin was wearing, he wisely did not ask about Wang Zibin's origin. After all, the origin of the grey mage is a very secret thing. After a simple meeting and greeting, Oswald didn't say any more nonsense. He is the vice president and has a lot of daily affairs. This mage gathering is specially held for Wang Zibin. Otherwise, it wouldn't just happen to be the 2nd day of Wang Zibin's January issue. Oswald went straight to the point and said the purpose of today's mage gathering. Hope to let Wang Zibin guide other mages. Because it is an actual combat guide and needs to release spells, the location is chosen outside the city. And in order to maximize the verification of the effect of the spell, Oswald also prepared some death row prisoners for Wang Zibin. As he said that, Oswald waved his hand, and his 2 Fifth-order Sky Knight followers pushed 2 prison cars over. The prison car was covered by a black cloth, and when it came to Wang Zibin and the others, the black cloth was torn off, revealing 10 prisoners on death row. Looking at the surrounding scene, the condemned prisoners seemed to realize something, and they all cursed, "Damn, let go of your grandpa. Master Go-Ri, what do you want to do to me? Let go of me, or I'll kill your whole family later." From the words and attitudes of these condemned prisoners, it is not difficult to see that each of them deserved what they deserved. Listening to these slanderous words, the faces of the mages present did not change in any way. Because they are all elites of the Mage Association and have seen blood. Besides, with Oswald's style, those who have never seen blood will not be dragged here, just to embarrass themselves. Oswald ignored the existence of condemned prisoners and continued to talk to Wang Zibin. "What kind of spell do you wish to guide them with?" This question means that the mage gathering has entered the topic. Wang Zibin glanced at the mages around him. Most of them were second to third tier mages. They looked at Wang Zibin with suspicion or expectation. After thinking for a while, Wang Zibin asked the group of mages, "Everyone, what spell do you want me to use?" As soon as these words came out, the scene immediately became quiet. Chapter 52. No wonder they were quiet. Wang Zibin's words revealed full confidence. If it is said that Oswald's inquiry is to let Wang Zibin come up with the best spell, then Wang Zibin's words are telling them that I am good at a lot. What do you want to watch? To describe it more simply, I'm awesome. Therefore, the scene was silent. It took a while for the mages to realize that Wang Zibin was pretending to be aggressive. Then everyone became irritable. "I want the flame type. Ice element. Ice element. Thunder. Space system." Among the shouts, each one became more outrageous than the other. Lightning type magic is recognized as difficult to master, while space type magic is the most difficult magic. Although Wang Zibin is famous for space magic, but now it is not space movement, but a lethal spell. Hearing the demands of these mages, Wang Zibin's face remained unchanged, and he settled their difficulties with just one sentence: "I personally hope that you can learn something from the spells I showed." Wang Zibin's words made them shut up instantly as if someone had choked their throats. Because Wang Zibin's implication is, "I can show it, but I'm afraid you won't be able to learn anything after reading it. It's better for you to honestly choose the spells you know." Indeed, as Wang Zibin said, even if he showed lightning-type spells or space-type spells on the spot, if they don't know how to do it themselves, it's just a fun to watch. As the saying goes, laymen watch the excitement, and experts watch the way. The same is true for the display of spells. Oswald organized them all the way here, certainly not to watch the excitement. Therefore, they, who don't know lightning spells and space spells, were speechless on the spot. Seeing the mages who shut up, Oswald felt a little ashamed, and at the same time said slightly dissatisfied, "Then please show me the ice spells. After all of us have practiced such spells." Obviously, for Wang Zibin's self-confidence, Oswald directly designated his best ice spell. This means that if Wang Zibin's spells are not well cast, it will be very difficult to pass. All the mages' eyes lit up when they heard what Oswald said, and they understood the meaning of the vice president, so they all nodded and said, "Yes, Lord Oswald is right." At this time, they no longer concealed their suspicion and aggressiveness towards Wang Zibin. As early as the beginning, when they saw Wang Zibin walking over, so young and handsome again, they already had doubts. It's just that due to the gap in strength, I dare not express it. But now, with Oswald's backing, they became bolder. Hearing what they said, Wang Zibin nodded his head in agreement, but actually smiled inwardly. Sure enough, as he expected, stimulating them a little bit would make Wang Zibin cast their best ice spells. Although Wang Zibin also prepared ice spells, but he chose them on his own initiative, and the effect achieved was completely different from what they specified. The former can only mean that Wang Zibin is also good at ice spells. The latter, while showing the ice spells, made them feel that Wang Zibin was awesome and also good at other spells. As for why Wang Zibin led them on purpose, we have to start with one sentence. As the saying goes, pretend to be aggressive, or don't pretend, or pretend to be big. It's boring to fight and make trouble. However, when Wang Zibin secretly laughed, the condemned prisoners in the prison car also saw some clues through the dialogue of the mages. I know even more that it seems that the life and death of myself and others today are in the hands of this handsome mage in front of me. So they, who didn't want to die, began to seek a way out. It is definitely useless to beg for mercy, the only way is to hit Wang Zibin's psychology and make him perform abnormally. From their perspective, who didn't know Wang Zibin's specific identity, Wang Zibin was so young, as long as he was hit and failed to cast spells, wouldn't he have a way out? So, except for a few death row prisoners who had no desire to survive, the rest concentrated their firepower and cursed at Wang Zibin. Ha ha ha, I laughed so hard, you guys actually count on this little boy? Yes, besides being handsome, what's the use of him? No, you can't say that, it's still useful, it can meet my needs. The condemned prisoner who said this deliberately licked his lips, revealing his homosexuality. However, Wang Zibin, who heard this, recalled some bad memories on Beskar Island, and his eyes turned cold. Back then, I was forced to leave my hometown by a mage who liked fencing. How dare you provoke me? If the tower owner of the current tower knew what Wang Zibin was thinking at this time, he would definitely shout for injustice. The death row inmates didn't seem to realize the seriousness of the problem, and they were still making dirty words. Wang Zibin, whose eyes turned cold, turned his head slightly and said to Oswald, "Please help me get them out." Hearing this, Oswald was taken aback for a moment, as if he had a premonition of something, and gave his 2 5th-level Sky Knight followers a look, telling them to follow Wang Zibin's words. 2 5th-tier Sky Knight followers pushed their palms to the prison cart in front of them. The moment the thick blood on their palms touched the prison cart, the 2 prison carts were torn apart. The moment the prison van split apart, the prisoners on death row were stunned for a moment, as if they didn't expect that they would really be released. But in the next second, they reacted and ran behind frantically. There is a forest, as long as you can run into it, it means the possibility of real survival. At this time, even the condemned prisoners who had no desire to survive did not miss this opportunity. It is worth mentioning that these condemned prisoners are all knights, and the highest one even has the strength of a 4th-order Sky Knight. The reason why Oswald chose them was also to test the effect of Wang Zibin's spell on powerful life forms. Seeing the condemned prisoners fleeing, all the mages showed anxious expressions in their eyes. For them, the range of casting spells is a very real problem, and those who are beyond the casting range can only stare blankly. The 2 5th-tier knight followers are ready to go, ready to listen to orders and rush out to hunt them down. Only Oswald, who realized something, had a serious expression on his face. He couldn't help holding his breath, and looked at Wang Zibin with all his attention. The death row inmates had a strong desire to survive, so they ran with all their might. It's a pity that they obviously don't know how terrifying the enraged Wang Zibin is. In an instant, the condemned prisoners had already ran tens of meters away. At this time, Wang Zibin slowly raised his right hand towards the condemned prisoners. Wang Zibin raised his right hand and spread 5 fingers. Chapter 53. Wang Zibin raised his right hand and spread his 5 fingers facing the condemned prisoners. Then activated the spell Ice and Snow. Idiom, icy and snowy, to describe the sky covered with ice and snow. Spell Ice and Snow, frozen sky, snow covered the earth. The moment Ice and Snow was activated, the mana in Wang Zibin's body dissipated, and at the same time, a lot of his physical strength was drained. Obviously, Wang Zibin's strength is not enough to activate Ice and Snow, and forcing it to activate caused a certain load on his body. Fortunately, the current Wang Zibin has the physical strength of a 4th-order knight, and can fully withstand such a load. And Ice and Snow, which made Wang Zibin pay a lot of price, naturally has a corresponding effect. In an instant, Wang Zibin's right hand moved forward, and white snow appeared on the ground out of thin air, spreading forward rapidly. In the blink of an eye, white snow spread hundreds of meters in front of Wang Zibin. The condemned prisoner running on the ground was also instantly covered by white snow, and then turned into a white humanoid snowball, which froze in place. When Bai Shui spread over, the 4th-order Sky Knight condemned prisoner, who sensed the fatal danger behind him, erupted with the most powerful strength in his life, jumped up from the ground, and went straight to the sky, preparing to fly into the forest in one fell swoop. However, the moment the prisoner in the 4th-order Sky Knight jumped up, he turned into an ice sculpture in the air, and then fell to the snow. Accompanied by a crisp sound, the human-shaped ice sculpture smashed into countless small ice cubes. At this moment, the entire mage gathering scene was extremely silent. Even the magic beasts pulling the carts froze in place, not daring to move. After seeing the effect of ice and snow, Wang Zibin withdrew his right hand in satisfaction, turned to look at Oswald and asked, "What do you think of my ice spell?" The silence at the scene was broken by Wang Zibin's actions and words. Oswald, who was holding his breath, suddenly came back to his senses. After taking a deep breath, he heard Wang Zibin's question clearly. But after hearing it clearly, Oswald's mind was filled with ice and snow whiteness. How about it? Is this really a sixth order ice spell? No matter how I look at it, this is like a forbidden spell that narrows the scope. How about you ask me? How can I answer? I just think it's so powerful, so awesome, so... At this moment, Oswald thought a lot, and even began to doubt whether he was a sixth order archmage, and whether he was really good at ice spells. Anyway, Wang Zibin's move will kill him and he won't be able to let it go. Not to mention casting spells with bare hands. Wait, he didn't use a wand, and cast spells with his bare hands. Doesn't seem to be singing yet. Did he put this spell in the innate spell slot? Is it equivalent to the spell that he can release this small-scale forbidden spell at will? As he thought more and more, Oswald felt that it was difficult for him to breathe, and his mind became more and more white. As we all know, the innate spell slot of a mage can certainly place spells of the corresponding class, but the stronger the spell involves more magic runes and the more complicated it is. Correspondingly, it is more difficult to put it into the natural spell slot. To put a large and powerful spell into a talent spell slot, not only requires unimaginable effort, but also requires talent, and at the same time it takes a lot of time. Moreover, it is still impossible to be sure whether I will succeed in the end. After all, talent is something that cannot be explained clearly. At least, Oswald himself, in the 6th level talent spell slot, only placed a medium-sized 6th level ice spell with a range of tens of meters. And even this spell has already made him quite proud. Now, the ice and snow shown by Wang Zibin made him feel that he was also a 6th level mage, and he couldn't even see Wang Zibin's back. In fact, although Wang Zibin prepared ice and snow at the beginning, he also prepared singing at the same time. But Wang Zibin, who was provoked by the death row inmates, didn't care so much. Anyway, there are innate spells, and there are still reasonable explanations. Wang Zibin, mage genius, makes sense. Hello? Wake up? Did you hear what I said? Wang Zibin, who had not received a reply from Oswald for a long time, waved his hand in front of Oswald. Oswald, who was awakened again, hurriedly took a few breaths in a row, and then he didn't dare to think about it anymore, but first showed a sorry smile to Wang Zibin. Then, Oswald looked at the mages and shouted suddenly, "Say, what have you learned?" With Oswald's shout, all the mages returned from the ice and snow, and then they thought almost the same as Oswald, "What have you learned?" How do I answer? I won't. Can't read? I knew it was very powerful, even more powerful than what you showed me. The mages, who had nothing to say, were at a loss under Oswald's question. Seeing the appearance of the elites in his association, Oswald, as the vice president, immediately started education. Look at you. Before you come here, I told you to watch it carefully. Study hard. But you guys haven't learned anything. When you go back, analyze your mistakes for me, otherwise how can you grow into an independent mage in the future? Under Oswald's roar of hating iron and steel, all the mages trembled, shrunk their heads, and lowered their heads in shame. Marcus looked at Oswald's majestic appearance with a look of admiration on his face. Is this the vice president of the Masters Association? As expected of a big shot. Only Wang Zibin saw through the truth at a glance. Oswald is changing the subject. Facing Wang Zibin's question, Oswald, unable to answer, directly relied on the mages to change the topic. Looking at the mages being lectured by Oswald, Wang Zibin, who knew everything, showed sympathy to them. Of course, Wang Zibin will not do anything to expose Oswald and rescue the mages. After all, people are hard to tear down. After the lecture, Oswald asked Wang Zibin's opinion with a smile on his face, and ended the mage gathering. Then Oswald warmly invited Wang Zibin to sit in his luxury carriage and return to Xingye City together. But Wang Zibin declined Oswald's invitation, saying that he is currently exercising by walking. If it had been before, Oswald would have scoffed at Wang Zibin's words. But after seeing a world of ice and snow, Oswald seriously began to think about whether what Wang Zibin said was really feasible. As the saying goes, all the weak are wrong, and all the strong are right. In the end, Oswald decided to take a group of mages and accompany Wang Zibin back to Xingye City. When Oswald announced this decision, none of the mages had an opinion. Chapter 54. Under the leadership of Wang Zibin and Oswald, the mages followed closely, and various luxury carriages were at the end. This team began to set foot on the way back. It's worth mentioning that the ice and snow released by Wang Zibin began to melt rapidly after they took only 2 steps. Seeing this scene, Oswald remained calm on the surface, but he heaved a sigh of relief in his heart. Such a phenomenon shows that ice and snow is not a forbidden spell. Forbidden spell, that is a forbidden spell that requires at least a 7th level magister to cast. It usually has the effect of affecting a certain area for a long time, and the top forbidden spell can change the environment permanently. When the mages returned to Xingye City, everyone who saw this team was dumbfounded. When did they see so many mages, and they still didn't sit in the carriage, but walked on the ground? In their inherent impression, the noble mages all traveled in carriages, and very few showed up. Moreover, they also saw the luxurious carriages followed by the mages, and knew that the mages were walking on purpose. All the civilians who saw this scene wiped their eyes, convinced that what they saw was not an illusion, but what was happening in reality. Such a scene was unprecedented for them and even the entire Xingye City. Surrounded by mages and accompanied by Oswald, Wang Zibin is the most eye-catching one in this picture. Not only Wang Zibin's handsome appearance, but also his grey mage robe, which is so eye-catching against the backdrop of all the white mages. Under normal circumstances, how could the grey mages be so surrounded by the white mages? It's good not to be looked down upon by the white mages. Only the truly terrifying strength displayed will receive such treatment from the white mages. At the entrance of the small courtyard, Oswald insisted on sending Wang Zibin here, saying that he recognized the door. After saying goodbye, Oswald sat in the carriage, wiped the hot sweat from his head, recalled Wang Zibin's performance without a drop of sweat after walking so far, and fell into deep thought. His physique is obviously inferior to Wang Zibin. No, there is no comparison at all. At this time, Oswald has already begun to use the thinking of a mage to analyze today's situation. Oswald could see that Wang Zibin's physical strength was far superior to his, and it was definitely not something that could be exercised by walking. Excellent physical strength, handsome appearance, exaggerated spell release, simple living environment. All of this was revolving in Oswald's mind. At a certain moment, Oswald had a flash of inspiration and thought of an explanation that best fit Wang Zibin. He is not human. It's an elf in disguise. As the vice president of the Mages Association, Oswald has access to a lot of information. Among them, the description of the elves is as follows: elves, good-looking, long-lived, nature-loving, with terrifying talents. According to Oswald, Wang Zibin's appearance and displayed talent fully fit the description of an elf. Not only that, because the elves love nature, nature also loves them, so that even if the elves' bodies are not exercised, they will be warmed by natural forces, far surpassing human mages. This also allowed Oswald to find an explanation for Wang Zibin's physical strength. Thinking of Oswald here, the light in his eyes became brighter and brighter, and he felt that he had discovered an incredible truth: Wang Zibin is the elf in disguise. It's normal for me to be inferior to him. How can humans be better than elves? Especially Wang Zibin looks young, who knows if he is 100 or 200 years old. The more he thought about it, the more Oswald felt that he was right. It has to be said that when people feel that something is beyond their own cognition, they will subconsciously find a reasonable explanation to convince themselves. Such a move, in layman's terms, is a brain supplement. If Gujin only suspected that Wang Zibin was an elf, then Oswald is already convinced. But in fact, Wang Zibin, who is regarded as an elf, must be a real human being. If you want to blame, you can only blame Wang Zibin for pretending a little too much, so that they feel a huge gap, beyond human reach. Oswald returned to the Mage's Tower with a happy face and brought the result of his brain supplement. He wanted to re-establish his relationship with the elf Wang Zibin according to his own judgment. After all, if Wang Zibin is a human being, Chiang is only a human being. And if it is an elf, then there is an entire elf kingdom behind it. Although the kingdom of elves has lost its rule over the entire world, in terms of actual status, the kingdom of elves is still the most powerful force in the world. It's just that under normal circumstances, the power of the elf kingdom will not come out of the Chia forest in the middle of the mainland. This means that the friendship of any elf is extremely precious. When Oswald redefines the value of Wang Zibin, who knows nothing, looks sad at the big egg in his room, this big egg has already absorbed Wang Zibin's unknown amount of mana. But still nothing special. This is far from Wang Zibin's original idea that the seal can be opened in 3 to 5 days. But it is definitely impossible for Wang Zibin to give up. I have put in so much effort, how could I not see the final result? So, Wang Zibin, who returned to the room, after recovering his mana, concentrated his mana on the big egg again, and continued his career of breaking the seal. Wang Zibin, who continued his career, did not know that his reputation spread again. A month ago, although the matter of Wang Zibin's 6th order Great Mage was spread, it was only spread on a small scale. People who didn't pay special attention to this aspect basically didn't know about it. Even Star Moon Knight Academy only went to investigate after Marcus took the initiative to contact them. But now, accompanied by Oswald, the vice president of the Mage Association, surrounded by a group of white mages, the number of people he saw was countless, and it caused the spread of the whole city. In the entire Xingyu city, the conversations after dinner were all related to Wang Zibin. Although they don't know Wang Zibin's name, they know Wang Zibin's identity and image, a handsome 6th-tier archmage. As a result of this wide-ranging spread, all forces in Xingyu city knew of Wang Zibin's existence. What is different from before is that Wang Zibin, the 6th-level Great Mage, although he is a Grey Mage, has been confirmed by the Mage Association. In other words, behind Wang Zibin, there is the Mage Association as an endorsement. This makes almost all the big forces have a great interest in Wang Zibin, who can refuse a wild 6th-order archmage. Chapter 55. Before there is no confirmation from the Mage Association, even if these big forces have ideas, they will not have the guts. After all, if you were implicated, it would be hard to tell. And with the endorsement of the Mage Association, the big forces can no longer hold back. The specific performance is that the people who came to the small courtyard the next day almost broke through the threshold. So much so that Marcus deliberately stood at the door, acting as a temporary receptionist. No way, who made the 2 servants of Marcus's family unable to do such a thing at all. But Marcus was happy with this. That's right, even if Marcus stood at the door, people passing by would all look at him enviously, and those who came to the door were even more respectful. Who made yesterday's Wang Zibin so famous? Even Marcus, the humanoid reflective knight who followed Wang Zibin, was remembered by people. Marcus received wave after wave of gift givers. Not only did he not feel tired, but he became more energetic. Fortunately, these gift givers didn't really send gifts, but just brought a list of gifts. In the human empire, gift giving has always been practiced since ancient times. When ordinary people give gifts, it is natural to come to the door with the gift, and the gift comes as well. And like giving a gift to a strong man like Wang Zibin, then you need to pay attention to the way. Send gifts directly to your door, no. Because if you don't like this gift, if you give it directly, you will turn against each other instead. For the strong, it doesn't matter what your original intention of giving the gift is, it only cares whether you like it or not. Therefore, if you want to build a relationship, gifts must be given, but not directly, but like these people received by Marcus, they will come to the door with a gift list. What does it mean? It means to let Wang Zibin choose the gift he wants, even if he chooses all of them, it doesn't matter, because the gift list often represents the price that the gift giver is willing to pay. On the contrary, those who give gifts are not afraid that Wang Zibin will choose all, but they are afraid that he will not choose. After all, the manpower is short, the cannibalism is short, and the more gifts you get, then you will naturally have to pay the corresponding price when the time comes. Not choosing means that Wang Zibin does not want to establish this kind of friendship, but it will make it more difficult for the gift giver to accept. And the advantage of doing this is that even if Wang Zibin doesn't like these gifts, he won't turn against each other. When it was getting late, Marcus came to report the situation to Wang Zibin with a thick stack of gift lists. My lord, this is the list of gifts from the city lord's mansion. This is from the deputy city lord's mansion. This is one of the largest families in Xingyu city, the Qian family. In order to make it easier for Wang Zibin to choose, Marcus thoughtfully introduced a list of gifts that he considered important. After introducing some big forces in Xingyu city, Marcus pointed out the list of gifts sent in his own name. This is from Master Gu Jin, the 6th level Sky Knight, Vice President of Star Moon Knight Academy. This is from the Vice President of the Mage Association, the 6th Order Archmage Lord Oswald. Wang Zibin has no interest in the list of gifts from the big powers. Because if Wang Zibin picks up a family, it means that Wang Zibin is on the team and will be labeled as that family. And if Wang Zibin answered more, he would surely offend those who did not answer. Of course, the most ruthless approach is to follow all Wang Zibin, and this kind of benefit is definitely the biggest. But the consequence of doing so is that Wang Zibin will break his leg, and any family that has an accident can find him. Therefore, the most direct way to avoid trouble is to not pick up at all. In this way, Wang Zibin can maintain his absolute freedom without offending or pleasing everyone. On the contrary, Wang Zibin is still interested in the list of gifts sent in his own name, mainly because of these personal names, Wang Zibin needs to follow. For example, Vice President Gu Jin accepted his favor in terms of night secret medicine, and Wang Zibin had to accept it. Another example is Vice President Oswald, Wang Zibin who is a mage. As long as he lives in Xingyu City, he will definitely not be able to avoid him. Well, Wang Zibin needs the next one, which is the list of gifts for these two people. After taking the two gift lists from Marcus, Wang Zibin looked at them seriously. Compared with the numerous gift lists sent by big forces, the personal gift list is much simpler, with only a few items. Gu Jin's gift list is very simple, 4 luxury carriages of different shapes. This is what Gu Jin wanted to give to Wang Zibin a long time ago, but he didn't give it because he was afraid that he would appear too eager. Now that everyone is in a hurry to give gifts, Gu Jin will naturally not lag behind. Unlike Gu Jin's seemingly modest gift list, Oswald's gift list is much more exaggerated, a large manor in the core area of Xingyu City. A Tier 5 Warcraft, Violent Bear. A magic wand. Although there are only 3 items, all of them are worth a lot. So much so that when Wang Zibin saw the gift list, his eyes widened. To be honest, if Wang Zibin hadn't known that Oswald was the vice president of the Starmoon City Mage Association and had a lot of money, he would almost have thought that he had gone bankrupt and given him a gift. You know, for the list of gifts, Wang Zibin can choose all of them, and the combined value of these 3 items is almost the entire net worth of a miserably 6th order mage. Faced with such an expensive gift, Wang Zibin was a little afraid to accept it, for fear that Oswald would plot against him. Keek, just kidding. Even if Oswald plots against Wang Zibin is confident that he can't afford it. So Wang Zibin still decided to accept the gift list. It's just that he definitely can't choose all of them, otherwise Wang Zibin won't be able to deal ruthlessly if something really happens. After picking a luxurious carriage from Gu Jin's gift list, Wang Zibin began to consider Oswald's gift list again. The manor is naturally excellent, but Wang Zibin has felt the fear of being dominated by the house. The magic wand is also great. As a mage, even though Wang Zibin has only swung the hammer so far, he doesn't mind swinging the hammer in one hand and holding the magic wand in the other. However, in the end, Wang Zibin chose the 5th tier Warcraft bear. The reason is that the bear seems to be the cheapest of the 3 gifts, and more importantly, Wang Zibin thought of Marcus. Marcus, who has been miserable, doesn't even have a monster of his own so far, which seems to be incompatible with the painting style of the monster knights of the Full Moon Empire. Wang Zibin knew the difficulties of Marcus. He didn't like the 3rd tier ones, it was too ineffective for him, and the 4th tier ones were too expensive. But that was all in the past. Now that Marcus followed Wang Zibin would not let him down. This is a violent bear, which Wang Zibin prepared for Marcus. Chapter 56. After selecting the gift, Wang Zibin handed the gift list to Marcus. After receiving the list, Marcus immediately left the courtyard. When the gift list is selected, return it to the gift giver, and then the gift giver will prepare the gift and deliver it to the door. As for the list of gifts that were not returned, it naturally meant that they did not choose to accept them. The next day, Gu Jin's gift, a luxurious carriage, was delivered to the gate of the small courtyard, and by the way, Wang Zibin also brought a new month's share of night's secret medicine. However, Oswald's gift did not come. To be precise, Wang Zibin needed to get it himself. Of course, it won't be taken from Oswald's house, he doesn't have that much face, but from the auction house in Xingyu City. The specific situation is that the violent bear that Oswald gave to Wang Zibin is the finale auction item of the auction house today. Oswald invited Wang Zibin to participate in the auction together, so that after he auctioned off the bear, Wang Zibin would just take it away. It is difficult for Wang Zibin to refuse such an interesting invitation. So Wang Zibin got into the luxurious carriage that had just arrived, and headed for the Xingyu City auction house. Today's Xingyu City auction house was bustling beyond imagination. Luxurious carriages stopped at the entrance one after another, and almost all major forces in Xingyu City sent people to come. I didn't know, but I thought this was the annual auction with the highest standard in Xingyu City. However, in reality, today's auction is not even a large-scale auction once a month. Even the only thing that attracted attention was a very rare monster bear. However, no matter how rare a violent bear is, it is only a fifth-order monster, nothing more. It is simply impossible to attract such great powers to gather here. The only explanation is the arrival of Wang Zibin. This point became more and more obvious as the auction went on. 4th Order Warcraft Spar, Deal. Next up is the finale of this auction, the 5th Order Rare Monster, the Violent Bear. Storm Bear, a unique monster in the Chia Forest. In normal form, it has a simple and honest personality and is very cute. When fighting, it will transform, and its size will become several times larger. It is extremely violent. This is a violent bear living here for unknown reasons. After testing, it has already exhibited atavism. Once the violent bear returns to its ancestors, it can directly evolve into a 7th Order monster Thunder Roar. Such an opportunity, you must not miss it. The auctioneer enthusiastically explained that there was a 2-meter-high violent bear next to him, and he almost said that he could buy a 7th-level monster for the price of a 5th-level monster. However, anyone with a discerning eye knows it. All monsters have ancestors, and they all have the possibility of returning to their ancestors. But in fact, it is better to expect Warcraft to advance naturally than to expect them to return to their ancestors. At least compared to the former in the legend, the latter has traces to follow. Therefore, no matter how enthusiastic the auctioneer said it was, the only ones who were excited were those who couldn't afford it sitting in the lobby. They all looked at the violent bear on the stage excitedly, wishing they could immediately pounce on it and take it home. But when the official bidding started, they felt as if they had been poured a basin of cold water, and their hearts were chilled. The starting price is 1,000 gold coins. The Du family, 2,000 gold coins. The Qian family, 8,000 gold coins. Deputy City Lord's Mansion, 9,000 gold coins. City Lord's Mansion, 9,500 gold coins. Those big powers who hadn't made a move from the beginning to the end, made offers one after another at this moment. Of course, it's better to say it's a self-declaration than an offer. Obviously, they came here because of Wang Zibin, and the current offer is just to show their power in front of Wang Zibin. To put it bluntly, it's just showing up to increase your goodwill. After a while, after all the major forces had finished quoting their prices, Oswald, who was sitting next to Wang Zibin, spoke. Oswald, 10,000 gold coins. As soon as Oswald opened his mouth, it was like an appointment beforehand, and everyone else shut up, and no one bid again. 3, 2, 1. 10,000 gold coins, deal. The auctioneer dropped the hammer, announcing the end of the auction. After the auction ended, Wang Zibin and Oswald separated at the door and headed for the small courtyard. Behind Wang Zibin's luxurious carriage was the team escorting the violent bear from the auction house. On the carriage, Wang Zibin was thinking about the harvest at the auction. Oswald invited Wang Zibin to participate in the auction. One is to deepen the relationship, and the other is to show the value of the gift he gave Wang Zibin. 10,000 gold coins is really a lot of money. The currency commonly used by humans in the Chia Continent is copper coins, silver coins, gold coins, crystal coins. The conversion of each item is 100, that is, 1 silver coin can be exchanged for 100 copper coins, and so on. And a copper coin is equivalent to the purchasing power of 1 yuan in Wang Zibin's previous life. In other words, 10,000 gold coins are equivalent to 100 million. Ordinary 5th-tier magical beasts are worth tens of millions, but violent bears are much more expensive because of their rarity. Rare things are more expensive, this is an obvious truth. At least in Xingyu City, bringing a unique violent bear to the streets must have a lot more face than other 5th-level monsters. Seeing Oswald spend money like water, Wang Zibin felt his own poverty clearly for the first time. He is really poor, the kind who doesn't even have a copper coin in his pocket. These days, eating and drinking are all Macarthas. Realizing his own poverty, Wang Zibin felt the need to make money. Not because Wang Zibin wants to be rich, but because of the most basic needs of life. Marca's small courtyard is already crowded with luxury carriages, let alone a 2-meter-tall bear. And this is what Oswald reminded Wang Zibin, but Oswald did this to send the manner away. In order to befriend Wang Zibin, Oswald really spared no expense. The kind that Wang Zibin even considered the reason for accepting the gift. Of course, Wang Zibin will not accept Oswald's manner again, but the environmental problems that should be solved still need to be solved. In addition, Marca's, who was doing badly, must not have much money, so Wang Zibin needed to find a way to make money himself. However, as a mage, an unscrupulous mage, Wang Zibin will definitely not make money through conventional channels. Wang Zibin can't and doesn't want to do things like writing novels, making glass, and perfumes. Even, Wang Zibin never thought about making money from others. That way of making money is not only slow, but also troublesome, and it takes a lot of time. The method of receiving money that Wang Zibin prepared for himself is much more high-end. Create something out of nothing. As the so-called no-cost business is the most profitable business. Don't get me wrong, it's not an illegal operation like robbery. It is a high-end operation in line with the status of a mage. Chapter 57. As a mage, the most suitable status is to use spells to make money. Like ordinary mages, those who are proficient in medical spells will heal wounds and diseases. Those who are proficient in earth magic will build houses and roads. Those who are proficient in water mages can irrigate farmland. It is still very easy for mages to make money. However, these are not Wang Zibin's plans. After returning to the small courtyard, Wang Zibin first asked Marcus to put the bear in the courtyard, but did not deal with it, and then sent him out to find a larger manor and inquire about the price. Regarding Wang Zibin's arrangement, although Marcus was full of doubts, he did not ask, but faithfully carried out the order. After Marcus left, Wang Zibin took a head-sized stone and walked into the room. That's right, the operation Wang Zibin is preparing is to create something out of nothing, and the money can be quickly turned into gold. Stones that can be seen everywhere can be transformed into gold. Even if it is robbing, it is estimated that it will be difficult to make money so quickly. Idiom, turning a stone into gold. In myths and stories, it is said that an immortal can turn a stone into gold with a touch of his finger, which is often a metaphor for changing bad or ordinary things into good things. Spell stone into gold, pay a certain price to turn the stone into gold. As early as on the way back, Wang Zibin had already tried to load Tianjikengzhen and found that he could use it completely. This is also the reason why Wang Zibin directly asked Marcus to find the manor. With Tianjikengzhen, there is no shortage of money. Looking at the stone in his hand, Wang Zibin immediately prepared to launch Tamon stone into gold. However, just when he thought of this, a sense of crisis suddenly lingered in his heart. In an instant, Wang Zibin stopped planning to use Tianjikengzhen. Danger? Where does the danger come from? Wang Zibin thought with a puzzled face. Obviously Tianjikengzhen can be loaded in the innate spell slot, which means it can be used, so how can it be dangerous? It wasn't until Wang Zibin, who was puzzled, suddenly fixed his gaze on the head-sized stone, that he came to his senses. The dangerous thing is not turn a stone into gold, but Wang Zibin's greed to turn as many stones into gold. As the saying goes, the heart is not enough to swallow the elephant. At this time, Wang Zibin made such a mistake. Turning a fist-sized stone into gold requires a different cost than turning a head-sized stone into gold. The reason for the sense of danger is, of course, that Wang Zibin is not enough to support such consumption. After understanding this point, Wang Zibin smiled helplessly, poured blood into his hand, and directly handled the stone in his hand. 10 seconds later, the stone in Wang Zibin's hand shrunk in half. At this time, the sense of danger lingering in Wang Zibin's heart slowly dissipated. Finally, after everything was ready, without hesitation, Wang Zibin faced the stone in his hand and released the touchstone. In the next second, the mana in Wang Zibin's body instantly bottomed out. Not only that, the blood in Wang Zibin's body disappeared instantly. Bang! A piece of gold fell on the floor of the room, making a loud noise. Wang Zibin didn't catch the gold, causing it to fall. Logically speaking, this is impossible. With the body of Wang Zibin's 4th-rank knight, it is absolutely impossible that he can't even catch a piece of gold. Then the only explanation is that Wang Zibin at this time is abnormally weak, so weak that he can't hold gold. That's right, the current Wang Zibin has sunken cheeks, and the structure of the facial bones is extremely clear. The originally handsome face has become almost like a mummy. No, the whole body of Wang Zibin now looks like a mummy. Even if it is a person who has been drained dry, it is estimated that it may not be as weak as Wang Zibin's current weakness. Suck through slow breathing, Wang Zibin barely regained a little strength, walked out of the room, came to the kitchen, and began to eat and drink to restore his vitality through food. At this moment, in the entire small courtyard, only the violent bear in the cage saw Wang Zibin's actions. This is a violent bear covered in black hair, but with a strand of white on its forehead. And this strand of white hair is proof of the phenomenon of atavism in the auctioneer's mouth. Of course, no one with a brain believes it. If you have to believe it, it's better to believe that the auction house dyed it yourself. But at this moment, a light flashed in Violent Bear's eyes. It seemed extremely different. In other words, the moment Wang Zibin launched Tianqikengjin just now, Violent Bear sensed something and stared at Wang Zibin's room. Now, it looks at Wang Zibin, who was full of energy, coming out like a mummy, with a thoughtful look in his eyes. It's not an ordinary bear. It is a violent bear with dreams. Ever since it can remember, it has dreamed of becoming stronger. When other violent bears were still a tough guy, it started hard training. After 10 years of training, it was still in the growth stage, and it possessed strength far beyond the mature stage. Among the violent bears, it is the strongest one deservedly. Originally, the strongest one would become the king of the violent bear. However, this is not its dream. The violent bear king is the end of the violent bear, but not the end of his dreams. It's a pity that no matter how hard it is, it can't make any progress. Because of a layer of shackles from the blood, it was firmly locked. The restriction of the fifth order monster makes it impossible to become stronger. It is already the most powerful existence among the fifth order monsters. After repeatedly confirming that it cannot become stronger, relying on its innate cute talent, it sneaked into the elf kingdom all the way, and met the great wise man of the elves. The great wise man was amazed by its efforts, but also pitied its behavior, and pointed it in a direction. Following the direction pointed by the great wise man of the elves, it came all the way to the Xingyu Mountains. Along the way, it experienced a lot of hardships and, encountered many dangers, but it did not regret it. But what makes it confused is that it has traveled far and far, but it still hasn't found anything that can make it break through the shackles. Confused, it feels tired, and it feels that it can't walk anymore. Even if it has a direction and does not know where the end point is, it is still tired after all. At this time, a team of human knights discovered it. Originally, it could easily defeat this group of human knights, even if there were several fifth-order sky knights among them. But tired, it didn't resist at all, and was directly brought to Xingyu City by human knights. It became an auction item. The reason why Oswald gave the bear to Wang Zibin as a gift is because the bear in Chia Forest is very popular with elves. Although it was also surprised when it saw Wang Zibin's appearance. But it has been with elves for a long time, and it is 100% sure that Wang Zibin is not an elf. Chapter 58. Originally, even if it was brought back here by Wang Zibin, Violent Bear didn't feel any interest. But just now when Wang Zibin released Tianqikengjin, he was very interested in the spell fluctuations. As a violent bear who has traveled a long way, it has seen all kinds of spells. But what it perceived just now was different from anything it had seen before. Not an attack. Not defensive. Not a buff. This is a kind of spell fluctuation that it has never seen before, which arouses its interest. And when it watched Wang Zibin, who turned into a mummy, run from in front of him to the kitchen, his interest became even greater. Obviously, Wang Zibin's appearance was caused by casting a spell. What kind of spell would need to pay such a price? It's more interesting. Wang Zibin, who was squeezed into a mummified corpse, stopped after eating all the food in the kitchen. After eating so much food, although his complexion was pale, it was much better than the mummy just now. However, Wang Zibin himself is clear. This is just a superficial phenomenon. He could clearly feel the loss of essence in his body. This means that before the energy is replenished, all night training must be stopped. Otherwise, without the support of sufficient energy, Wang Zibin forcibly practiced night strength, which would actually hurt himself. The gain outweighs the loss, the gain outweighs the loss. Wang Zibin shook his head regretfully. If he did it again, he would definitely not choose to use Tianqikengjin. Even if it takes a little time to go to the Xingyu Mountains to make money, it is better than the current lack of energy. But people are always like this. Before losing, I always feel that taking shortcuts is the best. However, some shortcuts always make people lose something. Just like the current Wang Zibin, because he wanted to make quick money, he lost his energy, temporarily interrupted his night practice, and suffered a blood loss. Wang Zibin came out of the kitchen with a sigh, stood in the yard, looked up at the sky, and thought about life. After some reflection, Wang Zibin consciously classified Tianqikengjin into a sequence that is no longer used, and let it lie there to eat ashes. Wang Zibin, who had finished his reflection, suddenly remembered something. scanned the yard vigilantly, and felt relieved. Just now, he remembered the appearance of his mummy. This is the dark history of his death, which will damage his image and must not be known by outsiders. Fortunately, in order to cast a stone into gold, Wang Zibin had already sent Marcus and 2 servants to inquire about the manor in advance. Therefore, no one is in the yard. No, not right. There is also a violent bear who is not human. Wang Zibin's eyes instantly locked on the violent bear in the cage. However, what greeted him was violent bear's naive gaze. Taking a hard look at the strand of white hair on the bear's forehead, Wang Zibin inexplicably felt that the bear was a little cute. Such a cute violent bear must be very stupid, he can't understand what happened just now. Wang Zibin, who was looked forward to by violent bear Hanin's eyes, thought this way and decided to give up the irrational idea of killing the mouth in his heart. Obviously, Wang Zibin was wrong. This violent bear who stared innocently at it is not only very smart, but also completely understands why Wang Zibin became like that. But Wang Zibin is right about one thing. That is to give up the unrealistic idea of killing the bear to silence the mouth. Let's put it this way, as long as Wang Zibin takes action, the mana in his body will be exhausted, and his body will be crushed and beaten by the violent bear. This is still the case that violent bear is interested in him and doesn't want to kill him. If the violent bear becomes murderous, Wang Zibin's fate will definitely be crushed, including the kind that crushes all the bones in his body. My lord, we have inquired about 5 manors that are interested in selling. Marcus came back with 2 servants, and Wang Zibin reported what he had heard. Hearing Marcus' quotations from low to high, Zhou Zibin nodded calmly. Marcus was still very considerate, knowing that Wang Zibin was short of money, he prepared a cheap manor for him. After listening to the quotation, Wang Zibin turned around and entered the room, took out the ball of gold, BCCH, handed it to Marcus and said, "Turn it into money and see what it's worth." After taking the gold, Marcus blamed himself very much. "My lord, it's my fault that I want you to pay." Before Marcus finished speaking, Wang Zibin interrupted him, "Okay, instead of talking about this, it's better to go to work quickly and buy a manor so that this violent bear can be settled." "Obey." Immediately, Marcus walked out with the gold and 2 servants. He knew that Wang Zibin interrupted him because he didn't want him to blame himself too much. This moved him very much. When Wang Zibin watched Marcus go out, the violent bear was extremely excited. Just now, when Wang Zibin walked into the room and took out the gold, violent bear's eyes burst out with brilliance. Originally, it wondered what kind of spell Wang Zibin had unleashed in the room, which it had never seen before, and it even turned back on itself. Now the moment he sees the gold, Storm Bear connects with the stone that Wang Zibin took in at the beginning. Turn stone into gold. Of course, Violent Bear has never seen such a qualitatively changing spell. No, simply unheard of. But this is not important, what is important is that what this spell reveals is something that Violent Bear dreams of. Qualitative change. What is the limit of the Violent Bear to continue to grow stronger? It is the essence of a 5th order monster. It is the shackles of the essence, which locks the Violent Bear at the 5th level. At this moment, Violent Bear felt that he had finally found the meaning of the direction pointed by the great wise man. It traveled through thousands of mountains and rivers just to meet this handsome human mage in front of it. Tears-filled, excited, rejoiced, no one can feel the joy and excitement in Violent Bear's heart at this moment. If it wasn't for fear of scaring Wang Zibin, the Violent Bear would have opened and closed its cage in an instant, and jumped in front of Wang Zibin to express its current mood. Crunch. Wang Zibin, who heard the abnormal noise, turned his head vigilantly and looked at the cage where the bear was locked. This cage is very ordinary, because the auction house thinks that the 6th level great mage Wang Zibin does not need a cage that really holds 5th level monsters. But you know your own state. The current Wang Zibin is really not an opponent of a 5th order monster, the Violent Bear. If the bear breaks out of the cage at this time, then Wang Zibin can only call for backup. Fortunately, the moment Wang Zibin turned his head, Violent Bear's gaze became naive, it's just that it was a little strange holding on to the railing of the cage. Seeing this scene, Wang Zibin was relieved and just grabbed the railing instead of breaking the cage. However, to be reasonable, why does this cage give me the feeling that it may be broken at any time? Wang Zibin, who was aware of it, looked at the cage suspiciously. Chapter 59. Under Wang Zibin's suspicious gaze, Violent Bear looked even more naive. After looking at Wang Zibin, who didn't find anything, he shook his head, feeling that he was too nervous, then turned and entered the room. Wang Zibin needs to restore mana. When Wang Zibin walked into the room, Violent Bear heaved a sigh of relief, and subconsciously let go of the hand holding the railing. Suddenly, one side of the cage fell forward. Fortunately, Violent Bear reacted immediately and grabbed this side back. It turns out that the cage that Wang Zibin perceives to be broken at any time is not an illusion, but the cage, which is really broken. This is something that even Violent Bear himself didn't realize. After sneaking a glance at the closed door of Wang Zibin's room, the bear started to get busy on the edge of the cage. It is like kneading plasticine, kneading the iron cage together again. After a lot of hard work by Violent Bear, the iron cage was restored again, but upon closer inspection, there were crooked traces at the joints. There is no way, the palm of the Violent Bear is thick, these marks cannot be erased. A few hours later, inside a medium-sized manor, Wang Zibin glanced at his new home, very satisfied. Although this is not the core area of Xingyu City, the manor is spacious and well-equipped, and it is not dilapidated. It can be directly moved in without repairs. Having said that, even Wang Zibin's lump of gold, in the core area, can't afford it. Marcus was directing the servants to carry various items. After he bought the manor here, he also purchased 10 servants to maintain the operation of the manor. After placing all the items in the small courtyard in the manor, Wang Zibin brought Marcus to the bear's cage. Wang Zibin, who had recovered his mana, now stood in front of the storm bear, not as cautious as before. Wang Zibin directly asked Marcus to open the bear's cage. Of course, Wang Zibin is still ready for the offensive spells in the talent spell slot. After all, be careful sailing for thousands of years. If the Violent Bear's brain is not good, Wang Zibin is also ready to subdue the wave violently. As an unscrupulous mage, Wang Zibin felt that it was not a big problem for him to leapfrog and fight. Apparently, no one reminded him that a creature like a Violent Bear, after transforming, ranks in the forefront of the 5th order monster's combat effectiveness. Not to mention, the Violent Bear in front of him is also a Violent Bear with dreams beyond imagination. In the eyes of Oswald and others, the 6th order Archmage Wang Zibin can completely handle it. But in fact, if the Violent Bear really launches an attack, it is estimated that Wang Zibin can only compete with ice and snow. Fortunately, the Violent Bear in the cage is all about hugging Wang Zibin's thigh tightly. Not only will it not attack, but it even wants Wang Zibin to experience its cuteness. Marcus came to the cage and opened it easily. As soon as the cage was opened, under the scrutiny of Wang Zibin and Marcus, Violent Bear came out with a naive expression, stared at Wang Zibin eagerly, did not move, and seemed to be waiting for Wang Zibin's instructions. At this time, the Violent Bear kept a safe distance from Wang Zibin, and made such an expression again. It was exactly the same as being tamed. No, even if it is tame, it probably doesn't behave like this. After all, this is a tier 5 monster. As a Violent Bear who can live well in the elf kingdom and see the wise men of the elves, it knows how to behave reassuringly. At least, with its movements and expressions, Marcus wanted to touch it. Wang Zibin was no exception. He relaxed his vigilance and waved at it. Violent Bear immediately showed a joyful expression, ran up to Wang Zibin naively, and rubbed against Wang Zibin with his soft hair. In an instant, the scene became warmer. One thing to say, the reason why Wang Zibin dared to let the Violent Bear approach him was because he thought that he had the physical strength of a 4th order knight as a base. Besides, the Violent Bear still hasn't transformed. Even if an accident happens, Wang Zibin is confident that he can react. But in fact, at a distance, Wang Zibin can still contend with this Violent Bear with spells. But at such a close distance, Wang Zibin is probably gone. Of course, this is an impossible thing to happen. The Violent Bear who has seen Wang Zibin's methods already regards him as his future. At this time, not only will the Violent Bear not hurt Wang Zibin, but even whoever dares to touch him, the Violent Bear will never hold back. In the evening, with his own performance, the Violent Bear successfully integrated into the family and sat on the dining table, asking for flowers. Compared to Wang Zibin and the others who used bowls to eat, Violent Bear served the basin directly, and it was still the kind with 4 servants serving it. In the next few days, Wang Zibin had a lot of free time because he was unable to practice night power because he made up for the lack of energy. During these times, Grizzly seized the opportunity to use his cute talent and all kinds of tricks to shamelessly increase Wang Zibin's favor, and Wang Zibin gave it the name of Volibear. The family the status has risen significantly. The most direct manifestation is that Wang Zibin called Storm Bear and Marcus together, pointed at Marcus, and asked Storm Bear, Volibear, Marcus wants to sign a contract with you, are you willing? Because Marcus is only at the 4th level, and Violent Bear is already at the 5th level, signing a contract across levels requires Violent Bear's willingness. Otherwise, even if it is forced to sign, it will backfire on Marcus. Because the Warcraft Knight and the Warcraft that signed the contract are in a relationship of both prosperity and loss. After hearing Wang Zibin's words, Marcus was extremely excited. Unexpectedly, the bear chosen by Wang Zibin was actually prepared for him. If it wasn't for Marcus, he still wanted to serve Wang Zibin in the future, and now he wants to prove himself desperately. However, compared to Marcus' excitement, Violent Bear was stunned when he heard this, and then squinted at Marcus beside him. Well, it's conservatively estimated that with his small body, he can't even hold my paw which is not transformed. Sign a contract? It's impossible. The contempt in Violent Bear's eyes chilled the excited Marcus instantly. Everyone knows the concept of the jungle of monsters. Although Marcus, who was despised, was helpless, he didn't think too much about it. Who made him really too weak, not as good as the Violent Bear in front of him. It is reasonable to be rejected. If Violent Bear is willing, that is a surprise. If the status of the Violent Bear family has not risen before, it is estimated that Wang Zibin should consider changing to a 5th level monster at this time, or use some means. But now that the status of the Violent Bear family has risen, Wang Zibin feels that it is not easy to force it. As for Marcus Warcraft, don't worry, the day will be long. Small. Chapter 60. Besides, Wang Zibin feels that although the storm does not agree now, it does not mean that he will always disagree in the future. So Wang Zibin gave Marcus a look and asked him to work hard. As long as Marcus wins some energy and breaks through to the 5th Order Knight, won't he have a chance? Worst of all, it is very possible for Marcus to deepen his relationship with Violent Bear. Not only Wang Zibin thinks this way, but also Marcus, who understands his eyes in seconds, thinks the same way. It's a pity that neither of them knew how smart and experienced this Violent Bear in front of them was. To put it bluntly, the two of them together probably didn't have as many roads as Violent Bear had traveled. So, when Marcus was licking his face to make friends, Stormy Bear Volibear immediately showed a cute smile. I'm the bear you'll never get in your life. After Wang Zibin's energy recovered, he reduced the time spent with the bear on 297, returned his focus to the right track, and resumed a life of penance every day. It's worth mentioning that it's also because Violent Bear seized the time and wisely used Wang Zibin's free time these days to draw in relationships and improve his family status. So even if Wang Zibin spends most of the day in his room practicing penance, he doesn't worry about any accidents that may happen to the bear. Under such circumstances, the Violent Bear has gained great freedom within the scope of the manor. Do whatever you want. However, the free-roaming bear only spent a day, and after visiting the entire manor, he lost interest in activities. What Volibear the bear likes to do the most is stand in front of Wang Zibin's room, basking in the sun. It, a Violent Bear that has traveled far, far away, does not want to leave now. What it is full of expectation now is to guard Wang Zibin and wait for him to become stronger. That's right, the well-informed Violent Bear has already seen Wang Zibin's fiction and reality through the Tianjikengjian that day. In other words, it already knows that Wang Zibin is the true strength of a 4th Order Mage. Because of this, there is no rush. For it is a 5th Order monster. Even if Wang Zibin could cast that miraculous qualitative transformation spell, it was useless to it because of the difference in rank. Violent Bear has enough patience and time to wait for Wang Zibin to become a 5th level Archmage, or even a higher level Mage. By the way, Grizzly can also slowly draw in the relationship with Wang Zibin. Until then, everything will be a matter of course. This is Violent Bear's current plan, and it is also a long-term plan. So even now it is guarding the door of Wang Zibin's room, basking in the sun, and feels comfortable physically and mentally. And even if the bear is lying down and basking in the sun, there will be someone to serve it. It's Marcus who fantasizes about signing a contract after he can get in touch with Violent Bear. In order to get in touch, Marcus would bring food to please Stormy Bear from time to time. In this regard, I will give him a humanized appreciation every time. Well done, little brother, I will cover you from now on. It's a pity that the admiring gaze of Violent Bear was mistaken by Marcus as a proof of his relationship, which made him feel that his day as a knight of Warcraft is just around the corner. Hey, this is the so-called, falling flowers intentionally flowing water is ruthless. Days like this go by for days. The peaceful life of the manor was broken. The Violent Bear basking in the sun with his eyes closed suddenly opened his eyes and looked towards the gate of the manor. It sensed a powerful breath approaching. If it was in the wild, Violent Bear was already alert, but after realizing it was the human world, it closed its eyes again. Compared with the wild, the biggest advantage is that the bear can lie down with more peace of mind, because this is a human city. At the gate of the manor, Gu Jin, the vice president of the Star Moon Knight Academy, the 6th rank Sky Knight, glanced at the manor with some doubts. Strange, why did I feel like a strong enemy just now? Gu Jin recalled the information he had received about Wang Zibin, and after confirming that Wang Zibin had not been followed by the 6th level Sky Knight, he shook his head, thinking it was an illusion. Gu Jin's arrival was immediately notified to Marcus. Then Marcus came to the door of the room and reported to Wang Zibin. On the bed, Wang Zibin, who was meditating, opened his eyes helplessly, and stopped meditating. This is why Wang Zibin doesn't want to get too involved with others, it is easy to interrupt the practice. Wang Zibin came to the gate of the manor and welcomed Gu Jin in. After exchanging pleasantries, Gu Jin explained his intentions. I heard that you have moved to a new home, why don't you come to congratulate me? Gu Jin spoke at a very high level, and the word heard expressed the reason why so many geniuses came. In fact, as early as the first day Wang Zibin moved, he knew. But at that time, Gu Jin couldn't come to the door immediately, otherwise he would be suspected of surveillance. You come to the house right after you move, isn't that surveillance? After a lapse of many days, I came to the door now, not only to express my concern for Wang Zibin, but also to find an opportunity to build a relationship. It's the best of both worlds, and just right. However, Gu Jin's congratulations were not as simple as people coming, they even brought gifts. With the current relationship between Gu Jin and Wang Zibin, it doesn't seem awkward to send gifts directly to the door. Hearing this, Wang Zibin showed a wry smile. To be reasonable, he didn't want to accept the gift, and Jianzhong would eventually return it one day. However, he had to accept it. After accepting the gift, expressing gratitude and completing a set of standard communication procedures, Gu Jin left. Not long after Gu Jin left, Oswald came to the door again with a gift. After the same procedure, Wang Zibin sent him away. Back in the living room, Wang Zibin looked at the two gifts on the side, dumbfounded. Pretending to be too good is not enough, gifts are rushing to give. Naturally, Wang Zibin understood that it was because he had disguised himself too well and so powerfully, which caused Gu Jin and Oswald to try their best to find opportunities to give him gifts. And this gift, he will not accept it. After all, on the surface, this is the kindness of the two friends. Of course, it is because of two friends, Gu Jin and Oswald, that Wang Zibin's life can be so peaceful and smooth. The former 5.1 gave Wang Zibin the urgently needed Knight's Secret Medicine, which is equal to the endorsement of the Mage Association. The Knight's Secret Medicine can allow Wang Zibin to complete the practice of Knight Power, and the endorsement of the Mage Association will allow Wang Zibin to avoid the disturbance of other forces. Otherwise, it is basically impossible for an ordinary Grey Mage to be alone in Xingyu City. The solicitation of powerful forces, the contact with other Black Mages and Grey Mages will make simple life complicated. How can there be peace in Wang Zibin now? Thinking like this, Wang Zibin opened the gift from the two of them. What Gu Jin sent was a rare magic book. After only turning a few pages, Wang Zibin decisively threw the book aside. Something like a magic rune, Wang Zibin knows it, but it doesn't know Wang Zibin. Chapter 61. Gu Jin's gift was very sincere, and he specially prepared a magic book for Wang Zibin, a 6th level great mage. It's a pity that Wang Zibin can't construct any magic runes in his mind, so the books here are not even worthless. Wang Zibin, who threw the magic book aside, expressed Gu Jin's wishes and he took it. Then, Wang Zibin opened Oswald's gift again. A bag of Tier 4 Warcraft Spar. Warcraft Spar, the core power star source. In the hands of a mage, Warcraft Spar plays a very important role in building magic circles, providing energy, and so on. In the hands of blacksmiths, Warcraft Spar can be used to give certain characteristics to forged items. In short, Warcraft Spar is a kind of hard currency. Whether it is used to exchange money or other materials, Warcraft Spar can do it. The bag of 4th Order Warcraft Spar sent by Oswald now, Wang Zibin thinks it is for him to raise violence. After all, Warcraft Spar is also very useful for Warcraft. Although it is impossible to break ranks or something, it is no problem to become stronger. But, it's really a bit extravagant to give Violent Bear a 4th Order Warcraft Spar. Wang Zibin himself doesn't eat that well. It's just that since Oswald gave it away, Wang Zibin can't exchange it for money. After all, it would be embarrassing if Oswald knew about it. Therefore, Wang Zibin could only ask Marcus to give the Warcraft spar to Storm Bear. After distributing the presents, Wang Zibin didn't waste any more time, and went back to his room to continue his penance. Here, the violent bear who got the Warcraft spar sent over by Marcus did not show much joy. For Vala Bear, Warcraft spar is useless. Of course, as a smart violent bear, Vala Bear didn't need to show his thoughts, but took them as snacks. Since Gujin and Oswald came to give gifts, Wang Zibin's life has completely calmed down. Lived an inseparable life. But no one in Xingyu City will be surprised by this, because mages are actually like this. Especially for high-level mages, they often shut themselves up in a certain place because of their research on spells, leading a life of darkness. Even if he didn't show up for a few years, that's not a rare thing. For example, the president of the Xingyu City Mage Association, the tower owner of the Mage Tower, the 7th level magister, according to Marcus, there has been no news of him in the entire Xingyu City for 2 or 3 years. If it weren't for Oswald's position as the vice president, some people might think that he is dead. But in fact, no one really thinks that the 7th order magister is dead if he doesn't show up. For those whose strength has reached the level of a 7th level magister, it takes longer to study a certain topic. It's like studying forbidden spells. If you're lucky, you can study this thing pretty well and learn how to use it. If the research is not good, it may be decades of nothing. Not only mages are like this, but high-level knights are also the same. For example, the city lord of Xingyu City and the 7th rank titled knight who is also the dean of the Star Moon Knight Academy. Last time Wang Zibin casually asked Gujin, "Where did your dean go?" Gujin didn't hide anything from Wang Zibin, telling him that this 7th rank titled knight went to the depths of the Xingyu Mountains to practice. Therefore, the affairs in Xingyu City are generally handled by the deputy. This is also the reason why Oswald is very active. As the vice president, he doesn't have time to retreat and study. The Mages Guild has too many things to deal with. Of course, since he chose to be the vice president, it shows that he understands his own path. The days passed like this for more than 2 months. Wang Zibin's penance has gained a lot, and he is getting closer to the 5th level of strength. Originally, Wang Zibin thought that he would have the power of the 5th level smoothly, but the world does not run according to the will of the individual after all. On this day, at the dinner table, Marcus, who reported the situation of Star Moon City to Wang Zibin, said a piece of news that Wang Zibin could not ignore. The city lord of Xingyu City and the president of the Mage Association returned to Xingyu City one after another. Although this is the gossip that Marcus heard. But where there is no wind, there is no wave, not to mention the news about 2 people with the strength of the 7th level, even if it is a rumor, no one dares to fabricate it. Therefore, Wang Zibin took it seriously. The simultaneous return of the 2 most powerful characters in Star Moon City undoubtedly indicates that something big is about to happen. It is a pity that Wang Zibin, who has little communication and no influence, has no other information at all. It is even more impossible to analyze anything. The only certainty is that Wang Zibin needs to be more cautious in the face of the upcoming big event. Immediately, Wang Zibin asked Marcus to restrain the servants in the manor, and try not to go out during this period of time. To Marcus, Wang Zibin bluntly explained the reason: "If you mess with them, I may not be able to keep you." Hearing Wang Zibin's words, Marcus was taken aback for a moment, and then froze. This is true, Wang Zibin actually wants to protect them from the 7th order powerhouse. After the explanation, Wang Zibin returned to the room after eating, leaving Marcus in a daze. Perhaps for Marcus, he never thought that someone would try to save him in front of a 7th order powerhouse. In his cognition, shouldn't it be handed over directly? But from Wang Zibin's point of view, what he said is the truth. How can Wang Zibin, who has 583 road trips twice, not plan ahead? When Wang Zibin knew that the Lord of Xingyu City and the President of the Mage Association had returned, he had already thought of the possibility of causing trouble. At that time, even if Wang Zibin wants to protect them, he may not be able to protect them. That's why there was an explanation to Marcus. In fact, what he meant was to tell Marcus to be honest, but Marcus thought of something more. Suddenly, tears welled up in Marcus' eyes. Even though he had already decided to dedicate his life to Wang Zibin, he was always moved by Wang Zibin's true feelings, self-imagining, every time. With tears in his eyes, Marcus quickly gathered the servants in the manor after he came back to his senses. Then an arrangement was made: from today onwards, no one is allowed to step out of the manor, and all supplies will be purchased by him personally. Marcus emphasized that no one can cause trouble for Wang Zibin, whoever dares to provoke him, he will kill anyone. It has to be said that Marcus carried out Wang Zibin's low-key idea even deeper. As long as you don't go out, you won't cause trouble. Under such implementation, Wang Zibin, who was already low-key, became even more low-key. Originally, when the servants went out, they would also communicate with outsiders about the affairs of the manor. Chapter 62. Being low-key has its benefits, but being low-key to Wang Zibin's level is almost invisible. If it wasn't for the fact that Marcus went out every day to buy daily necessities, some people would wonder if Wang Zibin left Star Moon City overnight. You must know that many people are paying attention to Wang Zibin's information through the servants in the manor. But now that the servants are not coming out, and Marcus is a person who will not reveal a word, they cannot get the corresponding information and become anxious. Especially Gujin and Oswald, who thought they had seen through Wang Zibin's elf identity and wanted to get closer. They have always wanted to find another chance to associate with Wang Zibin, secretly revealed the news through the servants, and the group found the right time. Now that the channel of news is cut off, of course they become a little anxious. But even though they were in a hurry, when their respective bosses came back, they didn't dare to say that they left the big boss and went to Wang Zibin to talk about the past. What they need to do most is to report the situation to the big boss, express their position clearly, and then deal with the tasks assigned by the big boss. As Wang Zibin can see, their big bosses, the city lord of Xingyu City and the president of the Mage Association, returned almost at the same time, and something big happened. After Wang Zibin spent more than 10 days almost invisible because of being too low-key, Gu Jin, who finished handling the matter, was the first to visit. This time, when Gu Jin came to the door, he didn't bring a gift, but he brought a shocking news that led to the return of the city lord of Xingyu City and the president of the Mage Association at the same time. The Royal Exchange Group of the Full Moon Empire will arrive in Star Moon City in a few days. The Royal Family Exchange Group is a team formed for princes and princesses, who conduct exchanges in any city in the entire Full Moon Empire from time to time. According to what Gu Jin said, the so-called Royal Family Exchange Group is said to increase the knowledge of the prince or princess, and exchange with the best knight academy in a certain city. But in fact, in the name of communication, they are patrolling that city. Therefore, the arrival of the Royal Exchange Group will lead to the return of the city lord of Xingyu City and the president of the Mage Association. They need to receive and even deal with the exchanges and secret inspections of the Royal Exchange Group. Especially for a border city like Xingyu City, the Royal Family Exchange Group is extremely important. As a border city, it is undoubtedly the most worrying existence of the imperial family. Once something goes wrong in the border cities, for the empire, it will be a big problem that affects the rule. Not only that, the arrival of the Royal Family Exchange Group is also a huge opportunity. The opinions of the Royal Family Exchange Group go directly to the central government. If you want to do something, or enter the core area of the empire and leave the border cities, the opinions of the exchange group are extremely important. Just like the president of the Mage Association, in fact, he is not an official member of the empire, so he does not need to come to receive him. But since he's here, it means he doesn't want to miss this opportunity. The arrival of the Royal Family Exchange Group is definitely a major event affecting the entire Star Moon City. Hearing Gu Jin's news, Wang Zibin finally understood why when Marcus reported the changes in Xingyu City to him a few days ago, he also emphasized that the entire Xingyu City is currently undergoing sanitation and repairs. It turned out that they were preparing to welcome the arrival of the Royal Family Exchange Group. However, the information about the arrival of the Royal Family Exchange Group is still kept in a highly confidential state. In order to prevent accidental complications, only a few people at the core of power in Xingyu City know. The reason Gu Jin was able to know was because the Exchange Academy in the name of the Royal Exchange Group was the Star Moon Knight Academy. The city lord of Xingyu City, who is also the dean of the college, has asked Gu Jin to arrange the communication. The purpose of Gu Jin's coming here is not only to tell Wang Zibin the news, but also to bring a request. He wanted to invite Wang Zibin to be the special guest of the Star Moon Knight Academy to attend the scene when the Royal Family Exchange Group came to exchange. To put it simply, Gu Jin wants to invite Wang Zibin to support the scene. After all, the lineup of the Royal Family Exchange Group will definitely be extremely luxurious. In order not to lose face at the Moon and Star Academy, Gu Jin wants Wang Zibin to attend. In fact, there are still a few 6th order great mages in Xingyu City. But Gu Jin only invited Wang Zibin. Because apart from Oswald, the vice president of the Mage Association, who had to be present, Gu Jin did not dare to invite other 6th Order Archmages. He was afraid that when the time came, he would invite people he shouldn't have invited, and put himself in it. As for Wang Zibin, whom he considered an elf, there was no problem, absolutely safe. Looking at Gu Jin with expectant eyes, Wang Zibin couldn't say the word no. Wang Zibin really didn't want to go, he just wanted to grow up. Instead of facing people who you are not sure about when you don't have enough self-protection ability. To put it bluntly, Wang Zibin thinks that he does not have the capital to make waves. But Wang Zibin knew that he had to go after taking the night secret medicine from Xingyu Night Academy and the gift from Gu Jin. He is not an ungrateful person, so he naturally knows what should be repaid and he needs to repay. Besides, it's just to attend, not to sacrifice one's life. So Wang Zibin nodded and agreed. After seeing off the happy Gu Jin, Wang Zibin sighed, the Royal Family Exchange Group, just by the name, you know that it is easy to cause trouble. But the matter has come to this point, it is useless to say more. Wang Zibin forced himself to accept the reality, and then thought quite optimistically, the Royal Family Exchange team may meet the princess or something this time, which is equivalent to seeing the world. To be honest, Wang Zibin has never met any big shots until now. If I can meet the princess this time, then I will gain a lot of insight. If Wang Zibin's thoughts at this time are known to the white-haired old mage on Beskar Island, he will definitely be taught a lesson, as the, good king, good, future tower master of Beskar, you are a big shot yourself. It is a pity that Prince Lu knew his status. Of course, even if he knows, it's useless now, the environment he's in doesn't touch the existence of Beskar Island at all. And Wang Zibin doesn't need to know that the status brought by identity is false after all, but the real plan is brought by strength. He, Wang Zibin, on his own, is doing well now. And he is confident that it will be even better in the future. After Gu Jin left, Oswald, like last time, seized the opportunity and came to Wang Zibin. Coincidentally, Oswald's purpose is the same as Gu Jin's, to invite Wang Zibin to appear at the exchange meeting, but as a special guest of the Mage Association. In this regard, Wang Zibin can only explain that he first agreed to Gu Jin's invitation. This made Oswald leave slightly disappointed. Chapter 63. After Wang Zibin received the invitation, he didn't wait long. On the 4th day, the Royal Family Exchange Group arrived. And the way the Royal Traffic Group arrived shocked the entire Star Moon City. This is a golden spaceship with the emblem of the Royal Family of the Full Moon Empire on its body. It is 100 meters long. It breaks through the sea of clouds and descends to the sky above Xingyu City. Even Wang Zibin was surprised when he saw the spaceship for the first time. However, the surprise at the golden spaceship did not last long, and Wang Zibin saw something even more shocking to him. When the spaceship came to the sky above Xingyu City, a layer of white energy shield appeared out of nowhere on the bottom of the spaceship, forcibly preventing it from continuing to descend. At the same moment, the Mage Tower in Xingyu City lit up with a light that was clearly visible even in broad daylight. As a mage, Wang Zibin knew that this must be the effect of the magic circle. And it is obvious that the golden spaceship triggered the magic circle of Xingyu City, so that the white energy shield appeared, and the Mage Tower was the control center of the magic circle, which was triggered together. The reason Wang Zibin was shocked was that this white energy shield actually covered the entire Xingyu City. In other words, the scope of this demon is extremely large. At the same time, the role of the Mage Tower that controls the magic circle also made Wang Zibin, the former master of the Mage Tower, uncontrollably reveal his eyes that have never seen 110 sides of the world. When he was the master of the future tower Mage Tower, he never knew that the Mage Tower had such a powerful function. For a long time, in Wang Zibin's mind, the Mage's Tower is just a unique house for mages. Now it seems that Wang Zibin himself has a feeling of sitting in a well. In fact, the Mage Tower is very useful, but Wang Zibin was only a first-level mage at that time, so he couldn't play its role at all. It also has something to do with Wang Zibin's focus on searching for the knight's training instead of studying the Mage Tower. At this time, Wang Zibin suddenly wanted to have a Mage Tower of his own. As a mage, who wouldn't want to have such a magic circle, and a Mage Tower that controls such a big magic circle? But reason told Wang Zibin that he was dreaming. If a Mage Tower wants to have such a function, its cost is an extremely exaggerated figure. Moreover, with Wang Zibin's current strength, it is impossible to control such a large magic circle with the Mage Tower. When Wang Zibin was dreaming of the Mage Tower, a stream of light flew from the city lord's mansion to the golden spaceship. This flow, BCCG, Light is naturally the lord of Xingyu City. Levels 4 to 6, the reason why they can be called Sky Knights is because they can float in the air and fly in the sky with their blood. But in order to achieve such a high-speed flight, it must be above the 6th level. On the contrary, mages are much better. They can fly at the 1st level. Although they are only floating in the air, they can fly at high speed after reaching the 4th level. In terms of physical endurance, they need extra magic, which leads to too much consumption. The Lord of Xingyu City came to the golden spaceship and began to verify the identity of the Royal Exchange Group. In fact, the sudden arrival of the golden spaceship and the triggering of the defensive magic circle in Xingyu City are all part of the patrol, test the defensibility and reactionability of Xingyu City. After all, Xingyu City is a border city, and these things are very important. After verifying the identity, the light from the Mage Tower disappeared, followed by the white energy shield. Under the guidance of the City Lord of Xingyu City, the golden spaceship landed directly in the Starfield Knight Academy. When they got here, the people of Xingyu City returned to normal with their upturned heads. For them, this is to blow capital in the future. Wang Zibin also withdrew his gaze, and after glancing at Volibear, the violent bear who was sleeping soundly beside him, he walked into the room and continued to practice. After Wang Zibin entered the room, the violent bear, who pretended to be asleep, immediately opened his eyes and began to meditate. The way the Royal Exchange Group appeared did not make it feel any shock. It had seen much more powerful things in the Elf Kingdom back then. But Violent Bear can't ignore the people in the Royal Exchange Group. The golden spaceship has an aura that makes it feel dangerous. This means that it is very difficult to protect Wang Zibin once something unexpected happens. At this moment, Violent Bear had the idea of taking Wang Zibin into the Xingyu Mountains to escape. Being cautious is the guarantee that the Violent Bear can come here alive. Unfortunately, after thinking about it for a while, Violent Bear felt that this was unrealistic. After all, Wang Zibin will definitely not listen to it. However, in fact, if Wang Zibin knew what Violent Bear was thinking, his eyes would definitely shine. The hero sees the same thing, he also thought the same way before, avoid it if you can. But now that he has agreed to Gujin's invitation, the prince can only go. The action of the Royal Exchange Group was very fast, and the exchange with the Star Moon Knight Academy started the next day. Gujin also sent someone to inform Wang Zibin. So after Wang Zibin changed into a new grey mage robe, he was ready to go out to attend the exchange meeting. However, just as Wang Zibin walked out of the room, he was stopped by the Violent Bear. Volibear, what are you doing? Wang Zibin looked suspiciously at the bear blocking the way. Violent Bear didn't speak, but looked at Wang Zibin with tears in his eyes, pointed to him, and then pointed to the outside of the manor, expressing his desire to appear with Wang Zibin. Seeing the appearance of Violent Bear and remembering that he had never taken it out, Wang Zibin hesitated for a moment, nodded in agreement and said, "Okay, I'll take you out this time, but be honest, or there won't be a next time." Hearing this, Violent Bear nodded repeatedly, and obediently came behind Wang Zibin. I don't know when, Wang Zibin has become accustomed to the superhuman performance of the Violent Bear, and he doesn't think there is anything strange. Only Marcus next to Wang Zibin knows that there is only one case where such a high IQ appears on a 5th-order monster that has not signed a contract. This Violent Bear looks like a king. At this moment, Marcus suddenly felt that he was farther and farther away from signing a contract with Violent Bear. Looking at the Violent Bear who followed Wang Zibin out, Marcus felt inexplicable sadness. Then, Hui Kaliu hurriedly chased after him. Although Violent Bear is far away, he knows that as long as he hugs Wang Zibin's thigh tightly, everything will be fine. Because of the Violent Bear following him, Wang Zibin couldn't sit in the luxury carriage and had to walk instead. However, the walking speed is not slow. Because of the arrival of the Royal Family Exchange Group, all the transportation vehicles in Xingyu City have been restricted in speed, just to avoid hitting the royal family members. At the gate of Xingyu Knight Academy, seeing Wang Zibin walking, Gujin who hurried out was stunned for a moment, and then reacted when he saw the Violent Bear behind Wang Zibin. Wang Zibin walked to accommodate the Violent Bear. Chapter 64. Even Gujin praised Wang Zibin's behavior in his heart. Sure enough, it is worthy of being an elf, and it treats natural creatures so preferentially. Without exchanging too many pleasantries, after a few words, Gujin took Wang Zibin to the exchange venue. The venue is a common viewing platform plus a ring. On the contrary, this viewing platform looks ingenious. From top to bottom, there are only 2 floors. Each floor is very spacious, but there are not many seats. Under the leadership of Gujin, Wang Zibin took a seat on the second floor of the viewing platform. Oswald is already in place, and is next to Wang Zibin's seat. That's right, all 6th tier professionals, including Gu Jin, will sit on the second floor. The highest level, of course, is for members of the royal family, as well as the city lord of Xingyu City, the president of the Mage Association, and other 7th level professionals. As for tier 5 professionals, sorry, they are not qualified to sit. After sitting down, Wang Zibin first turned around and explained to the Violent Bear behind him, and then talked with Oswald. Violent Bear stood there, looking around naively, pretending to be himself. In fact, Storm Bear is judging who is a threat to Wang Zibin. Obviously, the reason why the storm came out with Wang Zibin was entirely because he wanted to protect Wang Zibin. Goodness, for Wang Zibin's safety, it has to worry too much. Not long after, as the scheduled time approached, members of the Royal Family Exchange Group, accompanied by the City Lord of Xingyu City and the President of the Mage Association, entered the arena. Along with Oswald and others, Wang Zibin stood up from his seat to show his respect to them. At this time, Wang Zibin saw many big men up close. The owner of Xingyu City, a middle-aged man with a majestic complexion, wears a long sword at his waist. He is a 7th rank titled knight named Black Light, and it is said that his sword is as terrifying as Black Light. What is Black Light? Bring terror in the day, terror in the night. It means that when the city lord of Xingyu City draws his sword, there will be a black light, which is very obvious during the day, and he will be afraid when he sees it, but at night because of the darkness, he can't see anything, and he will be afraid invisibly. Felton, the president of the Starmoon City Mage Association, is an old man with disheveled hair, holding a magic wand in his hand. He is a 7th level magister and also Oswald's teacher. According to Oswald's private disclosure, his teacher Felton can ban spells. Forbidden spells, the minimum requirement for release is a 7th level magister, but not every 7th level magister can learn the forbidden spell. Knowing the forbidden spell means that his ability is already among the strongest of the 7th level magisters. Accompanying them was the leader of the Royal Exchange Group, the eldest princess of the Full Moon Empire, Hui Yu. Under Oswald's whispered introduction, Wang Zibin knew some more knowledge. For example, Hui Yu's status as the eldest princess does not mean that she is the oldest, but that she is the eldest among the unmarried women in the royal family. To put it bluntly, once you get married, you will be revoked as a princess. For example, there are 2 members of the royal family who came here this time. One is the eldest Princess Hui who came over now, the other is the representative of the royal family who came to exchange, the youngest princess, Princess Qihu. Princess Qihu didn't appear on the stage with eldest Princess Yu, she will join the exchange representatives from Xingyu Knight Academy on the stage after the exchange starts later. While listening to Oswald's introduction, Wang Zibin admired the arrival of the eldest Princess Hui. Yes, appreciate it. Ever since he started practicing knight strength, all Wang Zibin has come into contact with are women with muscles all over his body. If Wang Zibin had never seen the light, then perhaps he would be willing to endure the darkness. But Wang Zibin's memory told him that there must be better and more beautiful scenery waiting for him. In Beixing City, the most beautiful scenery Wang Zibin encountered was Karma. But the scar on Karma's face makes this scene a little regrettable. Now, Wang Zibin, who met the eldest Princess Hui, finally found the beauty in his memory. Eldest Princess Hui, not to mention her fair complexion and beauty, the most outstanding thing is her plump figure, worthy of the name of the eldest princess. To put it in a more common way, the moment you see the eldest princess, you will know that she is good at giving birth, with a protruding front and back, and you will not worry at all about your future child's lack of milk. Lack of milk? Children? Wang Zibin woke up suddenly, and he seemed to think of some strange aspects. But it must be admitted that the Princess Hui is the woman Wang Zibin met in this world that most suits his aesthetics. Ask for her flowers. Are you stunned? Oswald bumped into Wang Zibin's body, and sighed in the tone of someone who has experienced it. Fortunately, I'm the eldest princess who I only met after I got married. If I didn't meet before I got married, I guess I can only make do with it in this life. Indeed, after seeing such a beautiful scenery, we can only make do with the worse ones. After sighing, Oswald pretended to say unintentionally, I have no chance in this life, but you are different. In the future, everything is possible. Oswald, who thinks Wang Zibin is an elf, believes that with the backing of the elf kingdom, it is not impossible for Wang Zibin to marry the eldest Princess Hui. After all, there are many precedents for the marriage between the princess of the human empire and the elves of the elf kingdom. But Wang Zibin heard these words, but thought it was Oswald encouraging him. For Oswald's kind encouragement, Wang Zibin nodded slightly, expressing his acceptance. And this kind of performance, in Oswald's view, is very in line with the elf's character. As the only race that has unified the continent, elves are recognized as the most noble race in the world with their own exaggerated talent. This means that, in the eyes of the elves, nothing in this world is unworthy. And even if there is, it is because other elves are not worthy of elves, not elves themselves are not worthy. Even the current Wang Zibin is only a 6th order archmage active in a border city like Xingyu City, while Huiyu is one of the top human forces, the eldest princess of the Yuan royal family. From all aspects, the status of the two is very different. And such a gap, as long as Wang Zibin is an elf, then it can be erased. So, Oswald was not surprised at all. Accepting Oswald's kind encouragement, Wang Zibin shifted his gaze to Princess Huiyu, who was followed by 2 guards. Seeing Wang Zibin's line of sight deviated, Oswald explained, just right, those 2 are accompanying priests of the Royal Exchange Group, responsible for protecting the safety of the 2 princesses. The one on the left is the 7th rank titled Knight, Your Excellency Bhe. I heard that his spear skills are extremely domineering. The one on the right is the 7th Order Magister, Mr. North, a genius mage who was once famous in the Full Moon Empire. Xiao. Chapter 65. The 7th rank knight with the title of Overlord Spear is a sharp old man with a long spear on his back. Just standing there gives off a domineering feeling. But the 7th rank Magister North next to him is not the case. Although he is also an old man, he is unremarkable, giving people a feeling of being indifferent to life. To be honest, compared to the fierceness of the Baekhyang that cannot be ignored, North's appearance, if not for the introduction of Oswald, it would be difficult for people to feel that this is a 7th level Magister. Accompanied by Haiguang, the Lord of Star Moon City, and Felton, the president of the Mage Association, Princess Huiyu and her party came to the viewing platform. Originally listening to the city lord of Xingyu City introduce the eldest Princess Huiyu of Xingyu Knight Academy, she suddenly shifted her gaze to Wang Zibin and the others on the 2nd floor of the viewing platform. Eldest Princess Huiyu's gaze immediately made Oswald and the others hold their heads high and put on a more 433 attitude. But it is clear that Princess Huiyu has no interest in Oswald and Gu Jin, but focuses on Wang Zibin. No way, as Wang Zibin with handsome looks, he is the prettiest kid in the crowd. It may also have something to do with the violent bear behind Wang Zibin. Because among all the people, only Wang Zibin brought the warcraft, which is unique and eye-catching. When Princess Huiyu's eyes focused, Wang Zibin did not avoid her beautiful eyes, but smiled generously. Unexpectedly, Wang Zibin's smile won the response from Princess Huiyu. She nodded slightly to Wang Zibin. The action of the eldest Princess Huiyu was incredible, and it immediately attracted the attention of everyone around her, and they cast their gazes over together. This time, even Oswald was a little nervous. But Wang Zibin is unperturbed, just like how he smiled at eldest Princess Huiyu. Such things as the status gap, when you can realize your own glorious future, the current gap is not important. Of course, ignoring the status gap is just not inferiority, not arrogance. Just like Wang Zibin stood up with Oswald, respect for the strong is still needed. Like the eldest Princess Huiyu, their eyes almost unanimously focused on the eye-catching Wang Zibin. At this time, Haiguang, the lord of Xingyu City who had heard Gu Jin's report on Wang Zibin's information, gave Princess Huiyu a brief introduction of Wang Zibin's identity, a 6th order archmage temporarily settled in Xingyu City due to an accident when he released a space spell. He is also the special guest of this conference. After hearing the introduction of the black light, the eldest Princess Huiyu didn't say anything, but went directly to the highest 1st floor of the viewing platform. After eldest Princess Huiyu and his party were seated, Gu Jin started the process of the exchange meeting according to the time. There is nothing to say about speeches, mutual introductions, etc. These are the basic procedures. Anyway, Oswald and the others seemed to be listening seriously, but in fact their eyes were blank, and they had already let go of their thinking. It wasn't until the exchange representatives from both sides began to appear on the stage that everyone cheered up, their eyes regained their clarity, and they waited for the main event to come. In fact, I just wanted to see the appearance of another princess who hadn't come out, Qiu. In Oswald's introduction, Princess Qiu is the youngest princess of the Yuan royal family, only 16 years old, but she is the most beloved princess. And as the representative of the royal family exchange group, Princess Qiu is the protagonist of the exchange meeting. No one doesn't want to see Princess Qiu. Under the eyes of everyone's anticipation, Princess Qiu appears. Different from the exaggerated figure of the eldest princess, Princess Qiu is a standard lowly, with a petite figure, delicate face, and very cute. When everyone saw the appearance of Princess Qiu, they couldn't help but understand why she was the most beloved princess in the royal family. It was because of her cuteness. Even with such a cute appearance, the students of Star Moon Knight Academy are already thinking about how to release water. However, when Gu Jin announced the battle mode of the exchange meeting, the students were in an uproar. The form of this exchange will be conducted in the form of defending the competition. At the request of Princess Qiu, she will be the ringleader and accept the challenge from the students of Star Moon Knight Academy. Such a battle mode made the students feel a kind of humiliation. Indeed, Princess Qiu's behavior as the ringleader made it clear that she looked down on them. Immediately, the students silently gave up their original plan to release the water, but turned into a raging fighting spirit. It's a pity that fighting spirit alone is useless. What matters in battle is strength. During the ensuing battle, the students of Star Moon Knight Academy fully demonstrated what it means to be hanged and beaten. In the hands of Princess Qiu, every student couldn't last long before being defeated. This is no longer just a gap in martial arts, but a bigger gap in strength. With the strength of the Fourth Order Knights, since the students of the Xingyu Knight Academy can be selected as representatives, they are at least the best in the same class. However, it was difficult for them to hold on in front of Princess Qiu. Take the simplest fist fight as an example. A strong male student's right fist collided with Princess Qiu's fist. This is an obvious power confrontation. But the one who was repelled was not the petite Princess Qiu, but this male student. Obviously, Princess Qiu's strength and physical strength are much higher than that of this strong male student. Not to mention, Princess Qiu, who possesses the top educational resources of the Full Moon Empire, is far superior to these students in terms of martial arts. This led to the scene that everyone saw. The students of Xingyu Knight Academy took turns to attack, but they were still unable to shake Princess Qiu. On the viewing platform, everyone praised Princess Qiu's strength, bragging about the power of the royal family. No, it can also be said to be bragging. After all, the reality is that Princess Qiu of the royal family has a strength far beyond the same level. Even if it was Wang Zibin 5.1, after silently calculating in his heart, he felt that it was very difficult to be the opponent of Princess Qiu. Well, it's not an exaggeration to say, just stick to the level of 3 tricks. Of course, this is single-finger knight power. But Wang Zibin has nothing to worry about. After all, the gap between the two is there. Princess Qiu has enjoyed the best resources in the human world since she was a child, and she is taught by the best teachers. That's why, at only 16 years old, she can possess almost invincible strength among the Fourth Order Knights. A commoner like Wang Zibin probably spent less resources than Princess Qiu in a month. Because just to ensure that one's appearance and skin will not change due to the practice of knight power, the resources spent are a very large number. Chapter 66. Such a huge resource gap made it reasonable for Wang Zibin not to be the enemy of Princess Qiu's 3 moves. Not only Wang Zibin thinks so, even Gu Jin thinks so too. As the deputy dean, Gu Jin watched his students look so weak in front of Princess Qiu, and his expressions didn't change a bit. Obviously he also knows that such a gap is quite normal. If it was at this time, someone could defeat Princess Qiu, that would be a surprise for everyone. In the face of Princess Qiu's formidable strength, the so-called communication has completely become a stage to show Princess Qiu. In other words, it has become a stage to show the royal family of the Yunyu Empire behind Princess Qiu. There is no doubt that the exchange activities of the Royal Family Exchange Group may not be without the idea of showing strength. There is such a big gap at this level. Will the gap become smaller when you reach a higher level? No, of course not. On the contrary, with the existence of the basic gap, the higher the rank, the bigger the gap. This is why the royal family wants to show power. It seems that in this way, ordinary knights like Wang Zibin will never be able to catch up with the 12 daughters of the royal family like Princess Qiu. But in fact, the gap in resources is very obvious before the 6th level, and once the 6th level is reached, the importance of resources will drop significantly. Because the strength of a knight, in general, is still based on rank. Hard piles of resources can push a person to the 5th level, but if the 5th level breaks through the 6th level, you can't rely on resources alone. And the huge leap from the 6th level to the 7th level is not what resources can play. Not to mention that after the 7th level, each level is a gap, and it cannot be judged by resources. Wang Zibin's greatest confidence in being able to look up to a member of the royal family like Princess Huiyu is his confidence in breaking ranks. Even the current Wang Zibin is still at the same level as Princess Qiu, but he is not worried about his future strength. For Wang Zibin, any gaps in martial arts were ignored by him. Since the day he got the big hammer, Wang Zibin has actually confirmed his future knighthood, break through all methods with one force. To put it simply, it is rank suppression and strength suppression. If you add the advantages of spells, it will be easy to say. For example, the current Wang Zibin is not the enemy of Princess Qiu's 3 moves, but after Wang Zibin uses blood vigor, he is not without the power to fight. In short, such self-confidence allows Wang Zibin to appreciate Princess Qiu's battle with a normal state of mind. That's right, appreciation again. Wang Zibin admired Princess Qiu just like he admired the eldest Princess Huiyu just now, hanging and beating the students in the ring. Even Wang Zibin thought about it, if he hadn't been mistaken for a 6th order great mage when he came to Xingyu City. Then, according to his original plan, he would probably try his best to get into the Star Moon Knight Academy. And then, it will naturally become one of the members who are hanged and beaten in the arena. Thinking of Wang Zibin here, I couldn't help shaking my body. This kind of story development is really terrible. With his current status, he was able to sit on the viewing platform as a special guest, admiring these knight students of the same level as him, and being beaten non-stop. This is the so-called same person with different fate. Wang Zibin lamented that the wonder of life is like this, every different choice will have a completely different development. When Wang Zibin lamented his life, because all the selected students failed, Gu Jin decisively announced that Princess Qiu had successfully defended the competition. After praising Princess Qiu's strength, she started the next procedure of the exchange meeting. Students from the Top Knight Academy on the side of the imperial capital of the Full Moon Empire and students from the Star Moon Knight Academy exchanged with the Royal Exchange Group. Obviously, when the royal family's prestige is over, the real communication begins. At the very least, these students of Star Moon Knight Academy still have the power to fight with others. When the students from 2 different cities, Imperial Capital and Xingyu City, started a battle and exchange, the winner, Princess Qiu, walked off the ring with great joy, and came bouncing towards the viewing platform. Princess Qiu's behavior made the people on the first floor unable to sit still. First, the eldest Princess Huiyu got up, and then the others stood up one by one to welcome Princess Qiu together. Similarly, Wang Zibin and the others couldn't sit still, but stood up to welcome Princess Qiu's arrival. To be honest, when Princess Qiu was bouncing towards the viewing platform, Wang Zibin was still happy to see such a lovely Princess Qiu. But when Princess Qiu walked to the viewing platform and saw Wang Zibin when she passed the 2nd floor, what she said made Wang Zibin unhappy. "Hey! You look good, be my servant." Princess Qiu pointed at Wang Zibin's handsome face, and said crisply without any hesitation. If the first half of the sentence "you look good" makes Wang Zibin feel that Princess Qiu is a good child who likes to tell the truth, then the second half of the sentence made Wang Zibin's affection for Princess Qiu plummet to freezing point. This opening is an old and savage child. Indeed, if someone is not a savage, how could he make Wang Zibin her servant as soon as he opened his mouth? Not only Wang Zibin, but Oswald and the others also had no affection for Princess Qiu at this time. 460 Because they are all 6th level people, Princess Qiu's attitude towards Wang Zibin makes it hard for them not to empathize. But, that's all. No one would show it, all of them looked at Princess Qiu with unchanged expressions. It has to be said that although Princess Qiu is unruly, she does have the capital to be unruly. Just like now, even if they are unhappy in their hearts, they dare not show it. Yes, even Wang Zibin is the same. Wang Zibin looked at Princess Qiu without changing his face, at most he only frowned slightly. He knew that Princess Huiyu and the 2 7th-rank powerhouses accompanying her must be paying attention to this place. If Wang Zibin makes a slight change, it will inevitably lead to a thunderous blow. And in the presence of a 7th-level magister, Wang Zibin can't guarantee that he can escape successfully. After all, he doesn't know if the 7th-level magister has the means to block space spells. Therefore, Wang Zibin couldn't fully express his displeasure, at most he regarded Princess Qiu as a naughty child. If it is a different environment, if it is a different person, if he dares to let Wang Zibin be his servant in person, Wang Zibin used more than 100% magic to teach that person what it means to speak evil from the mouth. But now, Wang Zibin can only express his emotions through slightly frowning. Chapter 67. Xiao Qi, don't be so rude. Just when Wang Zibin frowned slightly, the eldest Princess Huiyu, who also heard Princess Qiu's words, scolded Princess Qiu. Then, Princess Huiyu came down from above, bowed slightly to Wang Zibin, and expressed apology. "I'm sorry, Zioqi is still young," she said such disrespectful words to your excellency, "please let me apologize to your excellency on her behalf." Princess Huiyu's words and etiquette left Wang Zibin speechless and could only nod his head to express his acceptance. Not only Wang Zibin, but everyone else felt the same when they saw Princess Huiyu scolding and then immediately apologizing. This is the member of the royal family, behaves in the world, and is moral. Although they are all afraid of the power of the royal family and dare not show it, it does not mean that they will not have other thoughts in their hearts. If it is said that Princess Qiu's savage nature made them feel displeased and at the same time lowered their impression of the royal family, now the behavior of the eldest Princess Huiyu has restored her image. On the contrary, it has brought her to a higher level. Of course, if things stop here, so be it. However, Princess Qiu, who was scolded, was extremely unhappy, but seeing the majesty of the eldest Princess Huiyu, she didn't dare to make a mistake. Princess Qiu stood there, turned her eyes, then suddenly pointed to the violent bear behind Wang Zibin and said, "Then I want the bear behind him." From Princess Qiu's point of view, Wang Zibin couldn't move any more, so it would be a joy to snatch his magic beast away. At this time, in the eyes of Princess Qiu, the violent bear is Wang Zibin's beloved, and taking away the violent bear is a lesson for him. After all, it was because of Wang Zibin that she was scolded by Princess Huiyu. Princess Qiu said these words, although she still couldn't change her savage look. It was far better than letting Wang Zibin be a servant directly. The others didn't have the empathy they felt just now, and they thought that it would be good to use a magic beast to settle Princess Qiu, and they could even take the opportunity to make some connections. However, after hearing the words, Oswald and Gujin's expressions changed slightly. They thought that Wang Zibin was an elf, but they knew that in the eyes of elves, monsters were partners, and it was impossible to hand them over. Although it is different from what Oswald and Gujin thought, Wang Zibin, who has already regarded the violent bear as a member of the family, is indeed impossible to hand over the violent bear. It's a pity that the eldest Princess Huiyu has the same idea as the others. It's just a fifth-order monster, and it's still very good to deal with the wayward Princess Qiu. Therefore, Princess Huiyu said to Wang Zibin again, "I'm sorry, it seems that Zioqi likes the bear behind you better. How much do you think? I'll buy it twice." In the eyes of Princess Huiyu, it seemed that she never thought that Wang Zibin would refuse, so she directly offered twice the price. But Wang Zibin did not hesitate at all, and resolutely refused. "Volibear is my family and I'm not selling it." Wang Zibin's refusal was beyond everyone's expectations, only Oswald and Gujin knew it. The eldest Princess Huiyu was stunned, as if she was at a loss because of Wang Zibin's refusal. But Princess Qiu was different. She quickly ran to eldest Princess Huiyu, grabbed her hand and shook her. Sister, you see that he doesn't give our royal family face at all, let Uncle Ba take action and catch him even a bear." Princess Qiu's words made the old 7th rank knight Ba Qiang who followed him directly lock onto Wang Zibin. Needless to say, Ba Qiang is ready to act, and only waits for the order of the eldest Princess Huiyu. Even Wang Zibin can feel the danger of being approached by the spear from the lock of the bully gun. In an instant, the prince prepared for the worst. As long as Ba gun makes a move, he will immediately run away with the violent bear. At this moment, because of Princess Qiu's words, the situation in the arena immediately became tense. The expressions of Oswald and Gujin changed drastically. Shooting at elves is one of the taboos in Chia Continent. Even the Elven Kingdom has not left the Chia Forest for many years, but that is not necessary. And once the Elf Kingdom knows that an elf has been captured, it will inevitably walk out of the Chia Forest and show the terrifying power of the elves. Decades ago, a female elf was caught out of the Chia Forest, causing the Elf Kingdom to send power, and then alarming the three major human empires. With the joint efforts of the three human empires and the Elf Kingdom, everyone involved in the capture of this female elf has been traced out, involving tens of thousands of people. Among them, the person with the highest status is the person who bought this female elf. He is a prince of the Haori Empire and the younger brother of the Emperor of the Haori Empire. But even such a person was captured by the Haori Empire and handed over to the Elf Kingdom to calm down the incident. As for the tens of thousands of people involved, more than half were executed, and the rest were sold as slaves. It can be said that even though so many years have passed, no one would think of doing anything to the elves, let alone let the elves be their slaves. Because the prince back then just wanted to catch the elf to kiss fangs, and he had already ended up like this. If you want the elves to be your slaves, you will definitely create huge waves. Even the emperor of the empire would not dare to do this. Because doing so will definitely cause a war between the empire and the elf kingdom. However, the three major human empires are all fighting on their own. They wish that other countries would go to war with the elf kingdom, and they will not hesitate to add insult to injury, choose to help the elf kingdom, and then enjoy the fruits of victory in the war. This is human nature. That's why Oswald and Gujin's complexion changed drastically, because if Princess Qiu really let Ba Qiang do it, then no one present, Wang Zhao, can escape being implicated. Oswald and Gujin looked at each other and reached a consensus in an instant. If Ba Qiang really made a move, then try to expose the identity of Wang Zibin's elf and stop it. Rather than continuing to hide their identities as elves, the two slowly drew closer to Wang Zibin, and they obviously felt that their lives were more important. Just when the scene was on the verge of breaking out, the eldest Princess Wu, who could call the shots, slapped Princess Qiu off holding her coquettish little hand in extreme displeasure, and then apologized to Wang Zibin for the second time. After apologizing, eldest Princess Wu didn't say anything else. She directly dragged Princess Qiu up and scolded her in a low voice while walking. To be honest, the unruly and willful Princess Qiu has already made Princess Wu feel ashamed. Even she didn't expect that Qiu, who was just a little wayward in the imperial capital, would become so intensified in a border city. Chapter 68. Eldest Princess Wu can think of the reason why Princess Qiu would intensify here. It's nothing more than when Princess Qiu knew how to restrain herself when she was in the imperial capital. And after arriving in Xingyu City, a small border city, he looked down on the people of Xingyu City at all, and did not restrain his savage willfulness at all. This is human nature. As long as the environment is right, it will be fully exposed. But, the timing is wrong. As the leader of the team, eldest Princess Wu knew the purpose of the Royal Exchange Group's visit, showed off the majesty of the royal family, and secretly inspected Xingyu City. Originally, everything went according to her expectations. However, Princess Qiu's actions turned the majesty of the royal family into oppression. This made Princess Wu feel ashamed, not only her face, but also the royal family's face. Therefore, Princess Wu apologized to Wang Zibin for the second time, and decisively pulled Princess Qiu away. She couldn't let Princess Qiu stay any longer. In the eyes of eldest Princess Wu, Princess Qiu is a perfect example of not doing enough to make things happen. However, because of the intricate relationship in the royal family, the eldest Princess Wu and Princess Qiu are only half-brothers, and Princess Qiu is the most favored. As a result, eldest Princess Wu couldn't take any further steps to teach her a lesson other than verbally reprimanding her. Otherwise, if it was her own sister, 073 would have already started. At this time, the eldest Princess Wu realized why she was chosen as the leader. What she thought was an easy job turned out to be such a hassle. Since the eldest Princess Wu took Princess Qiu away and stayed by her side, constantly educating her as her older sister, the follow-up process of the exchange meeting went smoothly. But everyone's thoughts are no longer on the exchange meeting. They stared at Wang Zibin's back either openly or secretly thinking about the same thing, because of Princess Qiu's actions, while making them feel uncomfortable towards the royal family. They also knew that Wang Zibin was in trouble. As an imperial family, even though Princess Qiu is unruly and capricious, there are quite a few people who want to rely on her. Princess Hui's two apologies to Wang Zibin seemed to calm the matter, but in fact, it opened a way for those who want to rely on the royal family to have a chance. Anyone with a discerning eye can see that the savage and willful Princess Qiu definitely won't let it go. Now as long as he does something to Wang Zibin, he will definitely gain Princess Qiu's favor. Moreover, at the same time as the action, if the violent bear specified by Princess Qiu can be given to Princess Qiu in person, then there will naturally be a relationship between this and that. So, from the moment Princess Qiu pointed at Wang Zibin and spoke, Wang Zibin was destined to get into trouble. Princess Hui's actions are only doing her best to protect the face of the royal family, and at the same time slow down the time when Wang Zibin's troubles erupt. All this is known not only to those who stare at Wang Zibin's back, but also to Wang Zibin himself. Even, Wang Zibin also knows how to get rid of troubles as quickly as possible. The first one is to get rid of the person who caused the trouble, that is, get rid of Princess Qiu, so that the trouble will naturally disappear. But the premise of doing this is that Wang Zibin has this ability, and he can't be found after he does it. Obviously, the current Wang Zibin does not have such ability, so this method can be ignored. The second, an immediate apology, and volibear the bear. In this way, not only can the trouble be calmed down, but also the relationship can be involved by the way. For some, it may be tempting to do this instead of Wang Zibin. But for Wang Zibin, this is a path that he would never choose. Therefore, Wang Zibin's troubles are already doomed without taking both the front and back paths. Wang Zibin watched the exchange of students on the ring, and smiled wryly in his heart. He knew that participating in this exchange meeting and getting in touch with the Royal Exchange Group meant that the probability of getting into trouble rose sharply. But he who didn't want to come had to come. No, even if he stands there properly, trouble will come to you automatically, BCC. It's a pity that the whole thing is done, and it can only be covered by water and earth, and the soldiers will block it. As soon as the exchange meeting ended, Wang Zibin left the Star Moon Knight Academy with this thought in mind. On the way back to the manor, Wang Zibin walked in a hurry. At this moment, he just wanted to go back to the room, continue to practice, and use his strength to break through all troubles. However, even though Wang Zibin's movements were already fast, there was no delay at all. But some people move faster. After the incident between Princess Qiu and Wang Zibin happened, news had already spread from within the Star Moon Knight Academy. Those who want to climb the royal family have already made arrangements. When Wang Zibin was walking quickly on the road, suddenly, a person rushed out from the side, seemingly inadvertently preparing to pass by Wang Zibin, but secretly waved his elbow. Moreover, the joint part of the elbow is exactly aimed at Wang Zibin's chest. As the saying goes, the day is the best. If Wang Zibin is really just a mage, with the frail body of a mage, eating this elbow, to say the least, would end up with a broken sternum. At this moment, even Wang Zibin didn't realize that someone was impatiently attacking him. Fortunately, Wang Zibin actually has the physical strength of a fourth-order knight. Even if he suffers for a while, it's not a big deal. It's just that Wang Zibin wasn't attacked at this moment. The violent bear Volibear, who had been following behind Wang Zibin when this person rushed over, noticed it. You know, human beings are not as good as monsters in terms of sensing danger, and the bear who has traveled such a long distance is the best among monsters. Therefore, this person may be able to hide from Wang Zibin, but he certainly cannot hide from violent bear. So when this person threw an elbow in secret, the violent bear accelerated and came to Wang Zibin's side, then just as inadvertently, it swung its bear paw and hit this person with an elbow. In an instant, this man confidently elbowed, as if he had touched a steel city wall. The city wall did not shake, but his hand was shaken by the huge reaction force, breaking the entire arm bone. Ah! Accompanied by a scream, this person rolled over on the ground, and yelled with his shattered right hand, "Ah, my hand! My hand! Brother, what's wrong with you?" The second after he fell to the ground and howled, 3 more people ran out from the crowd, and one of them came to his side, like his brother, and asked a very concerned question. Immediately afterwards, his elder brother pointed at Wang Zibin and shouted loudly, "Master, my younger brother was interrupted by your magic beast just by approaching you. This matter, you must give us an explanation." Chapter 69. Right. Right. There must be an explanation for us. After his elder brother finished speaking, the 2 people who followed him followed suit. In just half a minute, the scene was created into a situation where a person was beaten by a wizard's monster for no reason broken his hand. The civilians around who didn't know the truth immediately showed sympathy to the screaming people on the ground. At the same time, they secretly became dissatisfied with Wang Zibin. It can be said that the people who came to trouble Wang Zibin were very clever. If the first person succeeds, he will be able to retreat immediately after he succeeds. And the latter 3 were there to deal with unexpected situations. Just like now, they instantly constructed a picture of the victim, which attracted the same hatred from the people around them. Even, the 2 who responded, surrounded Wang Zibin, as if Wang Zibin would not let Wang Zibin go if he didn't give an explanation. If Wang Zibin hadn't reacted when the violent bear Volibear shot suddenly, then when the 3 of them immediately appeared and said such words to him, Wang Zibin reacted immediately. The wounded on the ground, the appearance of 3 people, it is clear that it is a bureau. No matter how Wang Zibin explains it, he will be framed by the 3 people using the emotions of the people around him. And in the case of such established facts, the probability that Wang Zibin can explain clearly is almost 0. It has to be said that this method of manipulating people's hearts is extremely clever. Even if it is very despicable in itself. Under such an unfavorable situation, Wang Zibin directly said indifferently to the two people approaching him, "If you come closer to me, I will kill you." This cold voice, coupled with Wang Zibin's indifferent expression, made the two people who were about to stop Wang Zibin and not let him go, stop their movements instantly. Although they set up a good game, they didn't want to lose their lives for this game. Not only them, but even the screaming people on the ground shut their mouths tightly, not daring to make a sound. And the people around them immediately backed away, sweating coldly from fright. It is true to share the same hatred with the enemy, but it is more natural to seek advantages and avoid disadvantages, and it is more important to save one's life. Wang Zibin, who scared everyone away with one sentence, went straight to the manor without looking at the wounded on the ground. Violent Bear glanced at the wounded on the ground who were enduring the pain, with a sneer of disdain, and followed Wang Zibin. As a monster, Volibear the Violent Bear understands what it means to be a predator of the jungle. All such despicable methods will collapse in the face of absolute strength. So what if they set up this trap? How about manipulating people's hearts? How about attracting people who don't know the truth to share their hatred? As long as Wang Zibin says a word, no one will dare to stop him. This is strength. However, after Wang Zibin and Violent Bear left, the four people who set up the game didn't show any signs of change. They led the injured person and cried loudly, "It's unreasonable, the mage indulged the monsters to hurt people. My brother, your life is miserable." Amid the cries, the four of them left, and the direction they were going was the office of the Mage Association. Obviously, the game set up by the four is only the first step, and what is starting now is the second step. The Xingyu City Mage Association received reports from four people, saying that the mage indulged his monsters and hurt him. There is nothing wrong with the actions of the four of them. The Mage Association has the responsibility to govern the mages in the entire Xingyu City. And incidents like this kind of mages and mages monster wounding incidents are the focus of the Mage Association's attention. However, when the members of the Mage Association heard the four describe the appearance of the mage who hurt them, they all showed strange expressions. Isn't this the good friend of the Vice-Chairman Lord Oswald, the Sixth Order Archmage who was shocked for a long time and wondered if he knew ice spells? By the way, I was trained by Lord Oswald for a long time because of this, and I even wrote a post about my experience. Fortunately, as a member of the Mage Association, I still do my best. Because the Sixth Order Archmage was involved, they immediately reported to Oswald. Oswald, who had just returned to the Mage Association from Star Moon Knight Academy, was furious when he saw such a report. This is a false accusation. They dare to frame a Sixth Order Archmage. They are courting death. Oswald saw through the truth at a glance, and having personally experienced the conflict between Wang Zibin and Princess Qiu, he knew even more that this was a trick deliberately played on Wang Zibin in order to please Princess Qiu, seeking flowers. But even if Oswald saw through the truth, there was nothing he could do except furious, because such methods are despicable, but under the coercion of people's hearts, they become tricky. Even Oswald must let the Law Association take action on this. Otherwise, the credibility and image of the Mage Association will suffer. However, Oswald did not make it easier for those four. While he personally went out to lead the members of the Mage Association to find Wang Zibin to deal with the matter, he ordered that any mage from the Mage Association be prohibited from treating their injuries. You know, Master Bai is a member of the Master Association. The Black Mage and the Grey Mage are not proficient in healing. 0, of course, if you are not afraid of getting worse, you can bravely try a wave. So the four people who reported the case happily watched the members of the Master Association go to Wang Zibin's manor, but they encountered difficulties when they asked for treatment. "I'm sorry, none of our healing skills are here, and we can treat you when they come back." The answer from the Mage Association made them stare blankly, and the person with all the bones in his hand was even asked to shut up by the Mage Association because the wailing was too loud. The reason is to disturb the practice of the mages. Until it got dark, the four people who were waiting hard for the healing mage did not find any mage who could heal. However, they waited for the result of a report. The mage who hurt them feels sorry for them and is willing to pay for the treatment. So the foursome got enough money to pay for several heals, but they didn't get healed. At the gate of the Mage Association, the group of four holding the money left with howls. The so-called apology and the money paid were of course fabricated by Oswald. The so-called going to Wang Zibin is to deepen the relationship, and I mentioned this incident by the way, and told Wang Zibin to be careful. The group of four obviously didn't know that the game they set up was just a farce of a clown in the eyes of the upper echelons. Of course, the people behind the group of 4 would not expect to be able to arrange a 6th order archmage in this way. This is just their beginning, the purpose is to tarnish Wang Zibin's reputation. Tao. Chapter 70. On the second day of the exchange meeting, facing the people sent by the Xingyu Knight Academy, Marcus said helplessly that Wang Zibin was ill and could not attend. That's right, because of what happened yesterday, Wang Zibin said that he was really disgusted. Not only the unruly and willful Princess Qiu, but also those who want to curry favor with Princess Qiu. Although the current Wang Zibin, because of his strength, is helpless against them. But according to Wang Zibin's character, he has already recorded these in the small notebook in his heart. Once given the chance, Wang Zibin will definitely be brought back. He is a black mage wearing grey mage robes. But now, Wang Zibin naturally chooses to develop. As for trouble, avoid it if you can. Anyway, on the first day of the exchange meeting, Wang Zibin's attendance has already given Gu Jin face, and it doesn't matter if Wang Zibin doesn't go in the future. Not to mention, the prince didn't find a reason to be sick. On Gu Jin's side, after receiving the news of Wang Zibin's illness, not only had no other thoughts, but he was relieved, although the responsibility for yesterday's conflict lies with Princess Qiu's unruly and capriciousness, Gu Jin is also responsible because Wang Zibin was invited by him. And after the invitation came, facing Princess Qiu's savagery, he didn't even dare to show up. He really needed to take the responsibility of the host. Today Gu Jin was still thinking about how to persuade Wang Zibin to return, but Wang Zibin's witty move completely avoided his opening. On the viewing platform, facing the disappearance of Wang Zibin, everyone on the second floor was well aware and depressed. They also heard about what happened yesterday, and they even felt the same way. This is the helplessness in the face of the royal family, and there will always be extra problems. On the first floor, Princess Qiu, who didn't see the figures of Wang Zibin and Violent Bear, muttered in disappointment, "Where did that guy go today?" Neither did the bears see it. So annoying. Eldest Princess Huiyu beside Princess Qiu, upon hearing this, a trace of helplessness flashed in her eyes. "Isn't it because of you?" At this time, the eldest Princess Huiyu really wanted to use this to educate Princess Qiu, but she also knew that Princess Qiu would not listen to her. And more importantly, doing so would further embarrass the royal family. The best thing to do now is not to mention this matter and deal with it coldly. That way, over time, people forget about it. It's a pity that the eldest Princess Huiyu had good ideas, but she far underestimated some people's desire to please Princess Qiu. Xingyu City, Deputy City Lord's Mansion. The 6th rank Sky Knight, Deputy City Lord Zhao Yuanbei, listened to the situation reported by the butler, and said, "It seems that Oswald's support for him is far greater than I thought. The blow to his reputation may only end here. Go to contact a 6th level black mage, and use this as an opportunity to find trouble with him and ask him to hand over that Violent Bear." From the words of the Deputy City Lord Zhao Yuanbei, it is not difficult to see that he is the mastermind behind sending a group of 4 to set up a trap for Wang Zibin. The reason why Zhao Yuanbei was anxious to get involved with Princess Qiu was because he was no longer satisfied with his position as Deputy City Student. Different from White Star City, White Star City is the fiefdom of White Star Knights, and the Deputy City Lord there is someone sent by the Empire. Xingyu City is not the fiefdom of the Black Light Knights, but a city directly under the jurisdiction of the Empire. The Black Light Knight is the city lord directly appointed by the Empire. And Zhao Yuanbei is one of the largest families in Xingyu City. The patriarch of the Zhao family, can be said to be the representative of the local forces in Xingyu City. Zhao Yuanbei has always wanted to become the city lord of Xingyu City. After all, in terms of the geographical location of Xingyu City, the combination of the position of the city lord and the local forces is tantamount to establishing an overlord. However, the existence of the 7th rank titled knight, the Black Light Knight, made Zhao Yuanbei have no chance. Even if the Black Light Knight was not in Xingyu City frequently, Zhao Yuanbei didn't dare to make any big moves, let alone take on the city lord. But now with the arrival of the royal family exchange group, Zhao Yuanbei saw an unprecedented opportunity. As long as he can get involved with members of the royal family, he can transfer the Black Light Knight through the royal family. In this way, even if Zhao Yuanbei is not the city lord, as long as no one is suppressing him, then he can still have the reality of the city lord. It can be said that after learning about the conflict between Princess Qiu and Wang Zibin, Zhao Yuanbei immediately made arrangements. The failure of the group of 4 in the Mage Association made Zhao Yuanbei, the deputy city lord, realize that Wang Zibin is not without support. On the contrary, it was because of Oswald behind him that many of Zhao Yuanbei's small movements could not be performed. For this reason, Zhao Yuanbei decided to directly arrange for the housekeeper, find a black mage to come to the door, and use his strength to solve the problem. And with the excuse of Warcraft hurting people, the black mage not only made a name for himself by injuring Wang Zibin, but also took the opportunity to bring the violent bear over, which can be said to kill two birds with one stone. So under Zhao Yuanbei's arrangement, the butler left the gate of the deputy city lord's mansion and came to a remote manor, where he met the 6th order black mage who had always been friends with the Zhao family. After paying the benefits that made the black mage's heart flutter, the housekeeper explained Zhao Yuanbei's request, bowed and said, "My lord, I have been waiting for your good news." The black mage, whose whole body was covered under the black mage's robe, and half of his face was covered, nodded, "No problem, just prepare what I want." After quickly leaving the butler of the Black Mage Manor, he looked back and relaxed. No wonder he was so nervous, because the housekeeper knew that this Black Mage was the perpetrator of many massacres. Although their Zhao family is the mastermind behind these tragedies, this cannot reduce the housekeeper's fear of this Black Mage. To be honest, the housekeeper who knew some inside information felt extremely depressed just standing next to the Black Mage. That's why the butler left the manor so impatiently after finishing his speech. That afternoon, the Black Mage followed the group of 4 to Wang Zibin's manor. Naturally, they would not go through the normal process of notification, but cried directly at the gate of the manor on May 2nd. The main reason is to cry and ask the master mage of the manor to give an explanation and let him hand over the wounding monster. The combination of the group of 4 and the Black Mage makes it obvious at a glance that this is looking for trouble. Therefore, it has attracted many spectators to watch here. In addition, the group of 4 kept repeating what happened yesterday, so that the people who watched the excitement understood that they had a reason for what happened. All of a sudden, the spectators pointed at Wang Zibin's manor. Such a big movement naturally alarmed Marcus. So that Marcus hurried to the door of the room to tell Wang Zibin what happened outside the door. And Marcus also specifically explained that the black who came with the group of 4. Chapter 71. Black Mage. Wang Zibin, who was practicing night strength in the room, had a sneer on the corner of his mouth. That's where it gets interesting. As a person who was born as a black mage, this is the first time that Wang Zibin is about to meet his colleagues outside. Moreover, Wang Zibin also knew that according to the black mage's characteristic of being useless, since this black mage dared to come, he had confidence in himself. In other words, this black mage must also be a 6th order great mage. It would be a lie to say that Wang Zibin doesn't care. After all, Wang Zibin himself is currently only a tier 4 archmage, while the black mage outside is a genuine tier 6 archmage. But to say that Wang Zibin is flustered, that's not enough. Although Wang Zibin has never really fought against the 6th order archmage, it can be seen from the appearance of Oswald after he released ice and snow that day. Wang Zibin is still confident in his own strength. Even if Wang Zibin's ice world and snow only has the power of 1 blow, but Wang Zibin knows 12, if it is operated well, it should be no problem to be a 6th order archmage in seconds. What's more, Wang Zibin's ice and snow is still instant. Under normal circumstances, no one should be able to react, especially people at the 6th level. Even if they are able to react, it will be difficult to escape. Of course, except for 6th order space spells. But Wang Zibin didn't believe that this black mage knew any space spells. So Wang Zibin didn't panic, but directly said to Marcus, "Never mind." Marcus, who received Wang Zibin's instruction, carried it out well, although he was a little confused. So much so that no matter how strenuously the group of 4 and the black mage performed at the gate of the manor was always closed. It wasn't until late in the evening that the spectators dispersed, and the group of 4 and Heier left the gate of the manor. Marcus, who was hiding behind the door, didn't show any joy when he saw them leave. Because Marcus understands that staying out behind closed doors cannot solve this problem, and in a sense, staying out behind closed doors actually confirmed the performance of the quartet, which seemed to Wang Zibin a little guilty. The next day, the group of 4 came to the door again, and the black mage was still standing beside them. Strange to say, as a 6th level great mage, this black mage was able to endure being ignored by Wang Zibin, standing there without saying a word. If any of the white mages were changed, it would probably have happened long ago. Even if it is a grey mage, he will definitely not just stand at the door like this. Only Wang Zibin knows that black mages are like this. They don't value the face of any mage, they only care about achieving their own goals. Wang Zibin, who heard Marcus report this matter again, did not ignore the group of 4 and the black mage outside like yesterday. Today, a response must be made. Wang Zibin thought to himself, if he chooses to stay behind closed doors, then according to the usual style of the black mage, he will definitely try to force Wang Zibin to do something. For example, the servants in the manor died suddenly or something. This approach is very in line with the behavior of the black mage. Because although the black mage doesn't care about face, he definitely can't accept that Wang Zibin stays behind closed doors. This will make the black mage use all means to force Wang Zibin to come forward. In addition, although Wang Zibin has confidence in himself, he can't protect his servants at all times. Therefore, Wang Zibin must respond, instead of using the servant's life to test the black mage's patience. 2 days later, outside the city, Wang Zibin asked Marcus to deliver such a message. At the gate of the manor, after receiving the message from Marcus, the black mage looked at the manor gloomily, turned and left. As Wang Zibin expected, if there is no response today, the black mage will decide to kill the servants in the manor first. For example, Marcus is a very good target. But now Wang Zibin's response just happened to make him unable to attack. Not only that, but the time set by Wang Zibin also made the black mage feel very uncomfortable. 2 days later, it means that the time has been delayed a lot, which is also an acceptable but uncomfortable time point for the black mage. As for the location being outside the city, that's understandable. Wang Zibin will solve this matter in the way of a mage. What is the mage's way? Same as the knight's way, fighting. Through fighting, you can solve the problem of asking for trouble like this. After all, for a 6th order great mage, not only can't use it in the city, but it will also attract the attention of the Mage Association. But it is different outside the city, the place is big and the impact is small, it is very suitable for mages to fight. It is worth mentioning that the location Wang Zibin decided on happened to be the location where Oswald invited him to attend the mage gathering last time to test his strength. There is a wide area, all means are clear at a glance, and they are fair to each other. After Wang Zibin settled on the outside of the city as a place to solve his troubles, he continued to practice. The current him is not far away from breaking through the 5th level. If it wasn't for the black mage who came to make trouble, Wang Zibin would definitely wait until he breaks through to the 5th level before accepting the move. Although Wang Zibin is confident in accepting the battle of the black mage this time, but if he is not a 5th order great mage, he only has the power of one move after all, so there are still risks. And, don't face the 6th level black mage directly, the risk is too high. 767 As for how to reduce the risk? Wang Zibin's eyes turned to the outside, as if he had penetrated the door, and saw the violent bear Volibear lying on the chair, basking in the sun. After completing today's night power training, Wang Zibin opened the door unhurriedly and went outside. Storm Bear Volibear, like an old man, was lying on the recliner specially made for him by Marcus, lazily closing his eyes, feeling very happy. Wang Zibin came to the side of the violent bear and patted its soft belly. Volibear opened his eyes with a puzzled expression, and looked at Wang Zibin puzzled. Obviously, it hasn't realized the seriousness of the matter, and still behaves like a fool. Looking at this violent bear, Wang Zibin smiled slightly, still pretending to be with me? If the former violent bear was able to rely on his cute talent to try to be cute to pass the test, then Wang Zibin, who has experienced the incident the day before yesterday, has already seen through its disguise. Before Wang Zibin could react, he took the initiative to protect him. Wang Zibin couldn't believe this kind of behavior. This violent bear was the one that showed its naive appearance. After that incident, Wang Zibin has always felt the extreme intelligence of Storm Bear. This made Wang Zibin understand that the violent bear Volibear is definitely the master hidden by his side. Chapter 72. As for what kind of master is, Wang Zibin has already made a judgment. From Wang Zibin's point of view, if the Volibear bear is just an ordinary 5th order monster, then there is definitely no need to hide it. And if it is a 7th order monster, it is also impossible, after all, the appearance of the violent bear is there. Therefore, after some deduction, there is only one truth. That is Volibear, a violent bear with 6th level strength. Possessing 6th level strength does not mean that violent bear has broken through the original class restriction. It refers to Volibear, the king of the bear. In Warcraft, as the king who leads a family, he must have the strongest strength of his kind. The violent bear is another race of monsters with the highest combat power among the 5th order monsters. So Wang Zibin logically deduced that Volibear possessed the strength of the 6th level. Even at the 6th level, it shouldn't be weak. After discovering the hiding place of the violent bear Volibear, Wang Zibin has a perfect plan to deal with the Black Mage. Volibear, tell me about you, you must come with me that day. When Wang Zibin spoke, he startled the violent bear. This is to pursue the responsibility of the day of the exchange meeting. However, although violent bear panicked in his heart, he still looked naive on the surface. If you don't go, that Princess Kia won't be following you. If you don't keep an eye on you, where will someone come to trouble me? Hearing what Wang Zibin said, violent bear quickly got up, shook his head, pointed at himself, and then at Wang Zibin. No, it's not me, it's you first. Facing Wang Zibin's blame, violent bear will definitely not be able to accept it, and that's why he made his current move. Of course Wang Zibin understood what violent bear meant, but he didn't care about violent bear's cry of injustice, and said to himself, you heard it too, the people outside the door kept yelling for the past 2 days, saying that you hurt them that day. Tell me to hand you over. Having said that, Wang Zibin changed the subject, but of course I can't hand you over. I don't even care about that Princess Qiu, let alone them. Hearing this, violent bear thought that he had wrongly blamed Wang Zibin. Wang Zibin was not here to blame, but to express his determination to protect it. Immediately, violent bear was moved to tears. However, Wang Zibin, who saw that the atmosphere was almost brewing, finally see you in the dark. However, there is a black mage with them. In order to completely solve the trouble, I agreed to fight 2 days later for you. Come on, Volibear, I like you. After speaking, Wang Zibin gave violent bear an encouraging look and left. Tuliu changed from being moved to a shocked violent bear, messing around in the wind, saying so much? Meaning let Ben go to fight. Or fighting a black mage. The violent bear who thinks he is 1,000 mountains and rivers, never imagined that he would still fall into Wang Zibin's routine. 2 days later, outside the city, Wang Zibin brought the violent bear Volibear and Marcus to the scheduled location on time. The group of 4 and the black mage were already waiting there. At a glance, there is nowhere to hide even a chicken, making it difficult for both sides to manipulate and set up an ambush. If we talk about Tibetans, it is also a forest hundreds of meters away from here. With such a long distance as a buffer, an ambush is useless. Therefore, Wang Zibin and the black mage are very satisfied after seeing the people brought by each other. However, the satisfaction of the two is completely different. Wang Zibin's satisfaction is that even if the black mage runs, he may not be able to run. The satisfaction of the black mage is that Wang Zibin did not bring Oswald here. If Oswald came here, then he really needs to be more conservative. After all, some methods are easily linked to certain tragedies in Xingye City. The black mage didn't want to be targeted by Oswald. Even if he is not afraid of Oswald, but Oswald's teacher, the 7th level Magister Felton, he really can't stand it. Out of satisfaction with Wang Zibin, the black mage made a gesture towards him, please. The action of the black mage was very straightforward, without any nonsense, and he was ready to start this duel of mages. Also, since everyone is here and everyone knows what they are here for, some polite nonsense is meaningless. There is no problem with playing directly. The action of the black mage also slightly expressed his respect for Wang Zibin. But Wang Zibin waved his hand and rejected the black mage's invitation to fight. Then, Wang Zibin pointed to the violent bear Volibear beside him and said, it's not me fighting you, but it. What? As soon as Wang Zibin finished speaking, the group of 4 jumped up, pointed at Wang Zibin and shouted, isn't it you? How did you push the violent bear out? Although the black mage didn't speak, the same meaning was revealed in his eyes. Facing such an excited group of 4, Wang Zibin calmly began to reason with them, you said that you came to me because my bear hurt your people. The so-called grievance has its head in its owner's debt, so I brought violent bear here. Besides, it's what you said, you want me to hand over the violent bear. The words of Wang Zibin immediately made the group of 4 speechless. Indeed, their core goal is to get Wang Zibin to hand over the violent bear, and then Zhao Yuanbei behind them can also give it to Princess Qiu. But Zhao Yuanbei also told them that Wang Zibin is also going to be beaten, so that Princess Qiu will be more happy. From the perspective of the group of 4, Wang Zibin is completely ready to hand over the violent bear to calm down this incident. Let them have no room to play. So the group of 4, who had no words to refute, all looked at the black mage. The real caller must be him. If it was said that this time it was to kill Wang Zibin, Then Master He, Zhao Lizao, would not care what Wang Zibin said, and did it directly. But the housekeeper made it very clear to him that the core target was the violent bear, and Wang Zibin couldn't die right now. Because they still have to rely on torturing Wang Zibin to gain the favor of Princess Qiu. To put it bluntly, they want to treat Wang Zibin as a long-term experience baby, and before Princess Qiu speaks, they will let Wang Zibin live. The Black Mage thought, since he can't kill, there is no need to tear his face for now, so he needs to abide by certain rules. And Wang Zibin's choice to let Violent Bear play is completely in line with the rules. So when the group of 4 looked over, the Black Mage hesitated for a while, approved Wang Zibin's statement, and turned to invite the violence. The Violent Bear Volibear nodded coldly, followed the invitation of the Black Mage, and walked forward. One person, one bear, one behind, walked towards the open space not far away, ready to start the battle. Chapter 73. This is an unequal battle. Black Mage, 6th Order Archmage. Violent Bear Volibear, a 5th Order monster. Everyone is not optimistic about the Bear Volibear. Yes, even Wang Zibin is not optimistic about it. The reason why Wang Zibin let Volibear play is just because he wants to reduce the risk. It's up to you, Volibear. Well, just thinking like this in Wang Zibin's mind, and fooling Volibear into fighting the Black Mage, he actually used Volibear as a meat shield. In Wang Zibin's mind, when he, the 4th tier Archmage, faces the 6th tier Black Mage, it must be risky. Therefore, a meat shield is needed to help resist frontal damage. A violent bear with 6th order strength is naturally very suitable for this position. So in fact, Wang Zibin's perfect strategy is to attract the attention of the Black Mage head-on, and Wang Zibin finds an opportunity to make a move. This is the standard 2-on-1 format. What? You call me mean? Sorry, but Wang Zibin was born as a Black Mage. Wouldn't it be a big joke for the world to talk mean to a Black Mage? Cough. All in all, Wang Zibin didn't expect the violent bear to win 477, he just wanted to wait for a chance to make a move. Of course, Wang Zibin still values his reputation very much. He is already ready to take the Black Mage and the group of 4 away. You don't really think that Wang Zibin is here to solve the trouble, just kill the Black Mage alone, right? It's out of the question. He, Wang Zibin, doesn't talk too much, so of course he chose to take them all away. Closer to home, the Black Mage and the Violent Bear found their respective positions, stood tens of meters apart, and looked at each other. The Black Mage looked at the Violent Bear, thinking in his heart how to catch this 5th order beast while trying not to hurt it. This is really a challenge for the Black Mage. After all, the Black Mage has killed countless 5th order monsters, but this is the first time he has captured them alive. As for Violent Bear, he stood in place and started warming up. The Violent Bear changed from his usual naive appearance, and waved his fist in front of him with a serious expression. At the same time, his 2 short legs were bouncing back and forth, one in front of the other. This is a standard boxer warm-up. BCCG, relying on the body of a 5th order monster, the Violent Bear warmed up with its punches, and easily let out a shriek in the air. The attitude of the Violent Bear made the expressions of the people watching the battle instantly become exciting. The group of 4 thought, the Violent Bear must have kept his hand that day, otherwise it would not be as simple as just breaking the hand bone. Marcus couldn't help wiping off his cold sweat, his small body probably couldn't take a punch from a Violent Bear. After all, this is a tier 5 monster. In all fairness, after Wang Zibin made some calculations, he also felt that he was not an all-in-one enemy. But the Black Mage's expression was dull. As a 6th level Great Mage, he was able to deal with a 5th level monster. Wouldn't it be easy to catch him? At most, it's just how to think about hurting the Violent Bear less, which seems to be a bit troublesome. After a while, Violent Bear's pretentious bloody action ended and stopped. Ah! Storm Bear Volibear howled at the Black Mage, signaling the start of the battle. Immediately afterwards, the Violent Bear rushed towards the Black Mage with 2 short legs. Different from the usual ferocious bears that sprint on all 4s, the Violent Bear with 2 short legs is very interesting. Even the corner of the Black Mage's mouth hidden in the shadow twitched. This bear, no wonder Princess Qiu likes it, it really has a bit of a funny talent. But it's funny, the Black Mage with rich combat experience didn't dare to push himself too hard when the stormy bear rushed over, and released a defensive spell for himself with a backhand, Magic Shield. Magic Shield, also known as Spell Shield, is a spell that a mage uses his own mana to build an all-round defense around his body. Moreover, as one of the core spells of the mage, the magic shield has a unique ability that can become stronger with the mage's strength. That is, what a first-tier mage releases is a first-tier magic shield, and what a sixth-tier archmage releases is a sixth-tier magic shield. In other words, the magic shield released by the black mage is a defensive spell that can withstand the sixth-order attack. Of course, as a general spell that can be used by a mage, the magic runes of the magic shield are extremely simple, which means that the magic shield song can resist ordinary attacks of the same level. But this is completely enough for the black mage. Using a 6th level magic shield to face a 5th level monster, the black mage conservatively estimated that the bear would have to attack with all his strength more than a dozen times before breaking through his own magic shield. After releasing the magic shield to protect himself, the black mage cast a restricted spell on the violent bear Volibear who had rushed halfway, Ice Prison. The 5th level spell Ice Prison, released with the 6th level strength of a black mage, is almost instantaneous. In an instant, a wall of ice appeared out of nowhere around Volibear the storm bear, and the wall was still enveloping it. Once the 4 ice walls complete the encirclement, an ice prison will be formed to trap Volibear the storm bear. In the view of the black mage, his 5th level magic ice prison technique is more than enough to besiege the violent bear in front of him, so after releasing the ice prison, he has no further actions, and prepares to watch the violent bear trapped by the ice prison. However, just when the 4 ice walls were about to complete the encirclement of the violent bear, a sudden change occurred. The speed of the violent bear with 2 short legs increased sharply, and it directly shattered the ice wall blocking him, rushing towards the black mage. Seeing this scene, the black mage constricted his pupils and realized something was wrong. Slowness. Vine entangling technique. The black mage with a strong sense of combat released 2 restricted spells at the bear one after another at the moment when his consciousness was wrong. At the same time, the black mage was also chanting, preparing to add a more powerful defensive spell to himself. It has to be said that the black mage's handling is still in place, first restricting the approach of the bear by restricting spells, and then supplementing himself with defensive spells to ensure his own safety. Unfortunately, it was too late. The violent bear whose speed increased sharply, when the slowing technique and the vine entanglement technique were about to fall on him, he decisively launched the transformation. Transformation, the unique ability of the bear race, can become larger and transform into a violent fighting form, and its strength and defense will increase significantly. This is also the origin of the name of the violent bear clan. The black light of the violent bear Volibear's body is shining brightly, and his body size is constantly rising in the black light. In the blink of an eye, an oversized version of Volibear, 10 times bigger in size, appeared in front of everyone. When such a huge Volibear appeared, there was only one thought in everyone's mind: how can it be? Chapter 74. Yet, how is it possible? All the information shows that the transformation of the violent bear is generally about 4 or 5 times. Even if it is the king of the violent bear clan, it is only 6 or 7 times stronger. However, what appeared before their eyes was a violent bear that had grown 10 times in size. It was also when Volibear completed his transformation that a deadly sense of crisis suddenly enveloped the black mage's heart. Run! Must run! The black mage's combat awareness, his perception, are telling him that the violent bear Volibear in front of him is very, very dangerous, and he must stay away immediately. However, even if he is aware of the danger and the need to escape, the black mage knows better that he can't escape. Because Volibear, who has completed his transformation, is already close to the black mage. Call out! Accompanied by the extremely shrill air screech, the oversized Volibear waved his bear paw. At this moment, Volibear's form no longer had the cuteness and funniness it had before, and its demeanor was no longer naive. What Volibear revealed in his eyes was an extremely indifferent gaze. This is the look at the corpse. When the violent bear Volibear came out of the Chia forest and traveled such a long distance, he jumped out of countless such jumps. Without exception, anyone who can make it swing such a palm in a transformed form has already turned into a corpse. This is Volibear's strongest strike, and also the one he is most determined to win. When Volibear transformed, the huge palm approached the black mage, and the black mage's defensive spell was finally completed. A black energy shield covered the black mage. However, even such an energy shield did not stop Volibear's bear's paw. Boom! With a crisp sound, the black energy shield shattered directly, followed by the magic shield released by the black mage at the beginning. After that, the black mage's body was patted into bloody mud under the huge bear's paw. There was no screaming, no struggle, the only movement the black mage had was the desperate look when he saw the huge bear's paw coming. He never thought that he would die in the hands of a fifth-order monster. He even made a plan to run away if he didn't hit Wang Zibin. Yes, he thought that, as a 6th-level mage, it would be fine if he couldn't run. But the black mage never thought that he would be instantly killed by a palm in the battle with a 5th-order monster bear, and he would not even be able to escape. If Violent Bear knew what the black mage was thinking, he would definitely show a mocking smile. You don't really think Ben Bear is showing a cute side, just for that, do you? During the long journey, Violent Bear has already practiced a set of cute tricks to make the enemy relax his vigilance, and then complete the transformation by surprise, killing the enemy instantly with one move. One thing to say, there are quite a few 6th-order monsters that died under this move. In the eyes of Violent Bear, a 6th-level black mage is no more difficult to kill than a 6th-level monster. Even dare to let it get close to the 6th-order archmage, which is much easier to kill than those 6th-order monsters with rough skin and thick flesh. After all, the latter may require a few more palms, while the former only needs to be done. After slapping the black mage to death with one palm, the Violent Bear Volibear immediately changed back, walking towards Wang Zibin with a trace of blood all over his body. If the black mage hadn't disappeared into the world, leaving only a puddle of blood on the ground, no one would have believed that this naive bear walking towards them had just killed a 6th-level mage in seconds. Moreover, it is still the kind of instant second. Even Wang Zibin showed shocking eyes at this moment. He who has already prepared ice and snow has not yet found a chance to make a move, and the black mage is taken in seconds? Originally, I found a meat shield to block the damage, but the meat shield I thought turned out to be a super powerful output? The clown is me. For a moment, Wang Zibin doubted himself a little. Fortunately, at this moment, the chattering sound of teeth from the group of 4 brought Wang Zibin back to his senses, and turned his head to look at the group of 4 not far away. The teeth chattered, the whole body was shaking like chaff, and the wet crotch was talking about the group of 4 who were scared to pee by the Violent Bear. Seeing such a group of 4, Violent Bear showed a naive smile and kept approaching them. Obviously, the Violent Bear who killed the black mage was going to get rid of the group of 4. The group of 4, who were also aware of the death crisis, looked at the grinning bear's smile and felt extremely ferocious, and their souls were scared out of their wits. One of the 4 people, under such circumstances, was so frightened that he fainted. At this time, the other 3 people thought that they would faint too, so that although they could not avoid the imminent death, they could die unconsciously without having to endure the endless sense of fear now. But just when the group of 4 thought they were going to die, Wang Zibin stopped the bear. Volibear, let's go. As he spoke, Zibin took the lead and walked back to the city. The dazed Volibear looked at Wang Zibin's back, then at the equally bewildered group of 4, and finally chose to keep up with Wang Zibin. Even though Stormy Bear didn't understand Wang Zibin's operation of letting go of the foursome, it believed in Wang Zibin unconditionally. Anyway, to Violent Bear, the group of 4 is like flies, there is no threat at all. If you are in a good mood, you can let them go. If you are in a bad mood, you can just slap them to death. In fact, it is the same for Wang Zibin. Originally, Wang Zibin was planning to kill the group of 4, but he changed his mind after seeing the powerful strength hidden by the bear. Because the foursome is still useful to him. Wang Zibin needs a foursome to pass on what happened today. The purpose of doing so is to further publicize the strength he possesses. Volibear the grizzly bear is his monster, so the strength of the grizzly bear is equal to what he has, no problem. The role of promoting strength in this way is to obtain stability for a certain period of time. Wang Zibin, who is about to break through to the 5th level, what he lacks is time. Wang Zibin's current operation is to use the exposure of the Violent Bear's strength in exchange for less trouble, so as to break through the 5th order faster. All these actions are based on Wang Zibin's plan based on his actual situation. The prince knows that Volibear the Storm Bear is strong, but it is only limited to the 6th level. And Wang Zibin, who was forced to get into trouble, had already turned his imaginary enemy into the accompanying priests behind Princess Qiu, those 2 7th level powerhouses. From Wang Zibin's point of view, facing those 2 7th order powerhouses, Violent Bear's hidden strength is not very useful. Therefore, it is better to take the initiative to expose, to reduce some small troubles, and get more time. Chapter 75. At this time, Wang Zibin was extremely calm and decisive. After the conflict with Princess Qiu, Wang Zibin began to calculate his chances of winning. At the 4th level, he has 0 odds of winning. And only if he breaks through the 5th level, will he have a little bit of resistance. Besides, after the 5th level, even if you are running, you can run more decently. What Wang Zibin needs most now is time. Therefore, Wang Zibin chose to let Volibear let go of the foursome. After Wang Zibin took Violent Bear and Marcus away, it took a long time for the group of 4 to recover from the disaster. Then, they first woke up the person who was stunned by fright, and then supported each other and walked towards the city. Today, for them, is destined to be a nightmare day. After returning to the manor, Wang Zibin patted the bear's belly and said earnestly, 2-3 Volibear, I'm sure I read you right, you will become the greatest violent bear ever. However, now you need to guard the door for me first. It was a familiar operation again. Wang Zibin casually flicked the bear to watch the door for him, and then walked into the room with peace of mind. Compared to the first time he fooled the bear to fight the Black Mage, this time Wang Zibin is even more familiar with the road. Looking at the back of Wang Zibin disappearing behind the door, Violent Bear patted his head in doubt, does this guy see what I need? Wang Zibin obviously didn't know, his casual words made Violent Bear think that the opportunity for his breakthrough was coming. Under such circumstances, Violent Bear changed from his laziness in the past and guarded Wang Zibin's door with high spirits. It's not hard to see how eager Violent Bear is to break through the limitations of its own class. This is the dream he has been pursuing all his life since he was a child. After entering the room, Wang Zibin, as usual, first poured all the mana in his body into the big egg beside the bed. To this day, even Wang Zibin can't remember how much mana this big egg has eaten from him. However, the appearance of the big egg has not changed in the slightest. But Wang Zibin has long been used to it, and even Wang Zibin has already made plans to conceive in October. He didn't believe that after 10 months of infusion, he still couldn't break this egg. After infusing mana, Wang Zibin put the big egg aside and began to practice. Deputy City Lord's Mansion, Zhao Family. Deputy City Lord Zhao Yuanbei looked at the group of 4 below, with an uncertain expression on his face. From the report of the group of 4, the strength of that violent bear is beyond imagination. At the same time, the death of the 6th level Black Mage is equivalent to breaking his hand in the dark. The trouble with Wang Zibin this time has caused him a heavy loss. Moreover, with the strength displayed by Violent Bear, it is almost impossible for him to achieve his goal. Even he himself is at risk of being exposed. Thinking that he might be exposed, Zhao Yuanbei's eyes flickered as he looked at the group of 4, and he had an idea. Afterwards, Zhao Yuanbei asked the housekeeper to take the group of 4 and immediately rushed to the manor of the Black Mage to search for the inheritance of the Black Mage to stop the loss. Although the Black Mage is dead, the things in his manor are also a piece of property that cannot be ignored for Zhao Yuanbei, which is used to offset part of the loss. In front of the remote manor of the Black Mage, the butler led a small group of people and stood outside, watching the group of 4 timidly enter the manor. A moment later, when he heard the screams coming from the manor, the butler's face was also very ugly. Let the group of 4 go in. One is to test whether the Black Mage has left any means in his base camp. The second is to carry out Zhao Yuanbei's order, silence. Faced with the situation that he might be exposed, Zhao Yuanbei naturally chose to silence without hesitation, and wiped out the group of 4 who directly participated. The group of 4 who died in the manor is undoubtedly sad, even though Wang Zibin let them go, but they knew too much, but they were killed by Zhao Yuanbei. This is the sorrow of the weak, life and death are only in the thought of the strong. This is why, Wang Zibin would rather run away than give his future to others to control. After hearing the screams, the housekeeper waited for a while and didn't send anyone in, because he knew that those people behind him would also die if they went in. Back at the Deputy City Lord's mansion, the steward truthfully reported the relevant situation. After listening, Zhao Yuanbei's complexion became even worse. With the means left by a 6th level Black Mage in the base camp, even powerful people of the same level would not dare to trespass. This means that his plan to search had to fail. At least in a short period of time, it is impossible to go, otherwise there is even the possibility of alarming the Royal Exchange Group. After dismissing the butler, Zhao Yuanbei was alone thinking about his next plan. As Wang Zibin expected, knowing the hidden strength of Violent Bear, it is impossible for Zhao Yuanbei to let his own people die. It is obviously not possible to face the front, and there is an obvious gap in combat effectiveness. But behind the scenes, some of Zhao Yuanbei's small tricks could hardly have any effect on the prince. Because Zhao Yuanbei knew that behind Wang Zibin were Oswald and Gu Jin. In this way, there are very few choices left for Zhao Yuanbei. After thinking for a long time, Zhao Yuanbei finally chose to rely on Princess Qiu's hand. Originally, Zhao Yuanbei captured the violent bear himself and gave it to Princess Qiu. This was the best way to get closer. But now, Zhao Yuanbei, unable to personally deliver the violent bear, decided to become a little man to influence Princess Qiu. Compared with the above board that the former gave to the violent bear, the latter is undoubtedly much more despicable. But Zhao Yuanbei had no choice, and he had to vent his anger. After some preparations, during the exchange meeting, Zhao Yuanbei found an opportunity to speak to the boring Princess Qiu, and made a suggestion to expand the scale of the exchange. Princess Qiu, I feel that the Battle of the Light Knights can't show the demeanor of the Royal Exchange Group. If the mages from Star Moon City are allowed to join in, then it will be able to show the strength of the royal family. Zhao Yuanbei's words made Princess Qiu 5.0's eyes shine. That's right, there's nothing interesting about the Royal Exchange team crushing the Knights of Xingyu City. If the Knights and Mages fight against each other, it will undoubtedly be much more exciting. Without hesitating for too long, Princess Qiu approached eldest Princess Hu, coquettishly, to carry out Zhao Yuanbei's plan. Eldest Princess Hu, who had nothing to do with Princess Qiu, agreed without affecting the face of the royal family. Therefore, from this day on, the scale of the exchange meeting has expanded in an instant. The mages of Xingyu City have been forced to join the exchange team, and will represent Xingyu City to fight against the members of the Royal Exchange team. Seeing that his suggestion was adopted, Zhao Yuanbei sneered in his heart. He wants to draw Wang Zibin into the battle with the members of the Royal Exchange Group. He does not believe that without the bear beside him, Wang Zibin can beat the members of the Royal Exchange Group. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you are notified of future uploads. You can find the next parts in the playlist visible on the screen or on my channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.